煙の向こうに黒いふざけがまかすいで消える。正気しても正気しても正気しても正気しても正気しても正気しても正気しても正気してもなくならないのと見せられているのか叫んだ後をせてみ列をなさないで花クイズのエクザギきっと三日月が笑っている。もうすぐそこまですぐそこまですぐそこまですぐそこまですぐそこまですぐそこまですぐそこまですぐそこまで何かが引いている。覚えてないかとすぐいな私に火を放つ人々とコールクションにキスをして甘んじてかもけにこもるかいこそかまたどっかしてるどっかしてるどっかしてるどっかしてるどっかしてるどっかしてるどっかしてるどっかしてるそうささやいた未来へ行こう誰もがすぐ終わる理想記憶があったなら即死を揃えたとなった日が乗り込んだ船を馳せた黒い星が黒い星が黒い星が黒い星が黒い星が黒い星が黒い星が黒い星が彼らを見ている。ないがすごが目に刺さるお別れの鐘が鳴る神悲しいた歴史の結ぶ答えを砂の味がするひなえずで繰り返す数え事が荒なねず誰かの砂瞳の色をした星に問いかけている。広い昼なくなる悲しみをやがて流れ落ち潮になる祈る苦しみと加わる身に差し気な大家族今背を向けても背を向けても背を向けても背を向けても背を向けても背を向けても背を向けても鮮明に光る悲鳴がコップを手放すことこそびかけてあるとさとさかなんか自意識の身をよけ垂れ流し足の色が確し込める黒い星が黒い星が黒い星が黒い星が黒い星が黒い星が黒い星が黒い星が私を見ている。ああ死んだヘズで繰り返す数え事が払った熱どこによけるあてもなく哀れな独り言を記している。ないが最後が海に戻るよまいことが粘り尽くす雨が描いた奇跡をなぞるように灰色の雲が来てる。花目ようで明日を越う希望で手が汚れてる。あなたの砂瞳の色をした星に問いかけている。手を取り合い合いし合ったらついに繋がなかった夢を殺す離婚のなるはテストの出産には熱以上が終わっている。現実じゃないこんなの現実じゃないこんなの現実じゃないこんなの現実じゃないこんなの耐えられないのと見せられているのか叫んだ後をせてみ列をなさないで花クイズのエクザギきっと三日月が笑っている。もうすぐそこまですぐそこまですぐそこまですぐそこまですぐそこまですぐそこまですぐそこまですぐそこまで何かが引いている。全てしたのは分かってもない私に新鮮な音楽を可能なく届けてほしい。幾千幾万のオーバーを消費して摂取してこの体を保つためにずっとたくさんの人にそばに行ってほしい。だって人類あなたたちも悪職も一人いる対処するように音楽ないと私だって悪い壁化しする可能性でからとっとと私に建物を作ってください。作り上がるさきっとずっと可愛い笑顔で高める自信があります。このそこじゃあ休めるんじゃない。言っていないとでも思うならば先にじゃ悪いからそんなことを分かりきってるでしょ。どこまでも追いかけて追い詰めていたぶりつかない私という大きな風を一生背負ってもらうからね。死ぬまでに 君を共にしよう。あれ、以上に足りないね。まさか見るのかな。まさかね。片手もお腹抱えるの。あなたと意味わからないでしょうけど、どんなに言葉を紡いでところで風になるものか何一つない。片手もお腹抱えるの。あなたと意味わからないでしょうけど、飛躍がして少数回の願いこれ以上心らせないで。人はないなはずなのに常に良きで最後の時をとかほらそのまま過去に置き去りにされると思うだけでヒステリック思考回を必死に薄光その物語を旅にことのみ込みかけた日付が来てる昨日の物語でできてる心に光を放もうマイナーな良いことを太陽に足元しとしの決定が誰でもない何もなくもない自分ショートカットへとか
Hi. Hello, Lane. Hi, everybody. Sorry, I hit my desk. So the way that the ads work is they play at the beginning of stream. Hello. They play at the beginning of stream, and then they play every hour. Yeah. So there's 3 minutes at the beginning of stream, and then 3 minutes every hour. So then the pre-rolls are disabled. Yes. Hello, Moon Knighter. Hi. Let me actually, because I think they did something. Hold on, let me see this. I think they did something with ads recently, but I don't remember what it was. Hold on. Also, I've been stress testing my computer like all day, and I don't know what's wrong with it. But I mean, hopefully the new PSU that I'm gonna get is helps it at least a little bit, because I did hear that the brand of computer that I have, its PSU is kind of dog water. So hopefully that'll help at least a little bit. But if I can't find what's wrong, then I think I'm gonna have to like contact an electrician or something to look at my outlets up here and see if they're actually good. Cause every stress test that I've done, it said no errors. So, and I also did the Windows memory diagnostic thing, and it didn't have it. There's nothing wrong with my memory. So I'm just gonna have to keep looking. I don't know what's wrong with my computer. Hi Jay.
Jay Valentina is still a bottom. Hi Milky. Hi hello.
Hi hello. Thank you for the 34 months. Yay. New PSU, I got fixed a lot of stuff. Hopefully this new one works for you too. Yeah, I hope. I'm probably gonna have to get my uncle to help me. There we go. I was applying too much power to the system and made it shut down a lot. Oh. I think the one that I have right now is 650. So 650 should be enough. It hasn't proven to be a problem before. Ugh. Yeah, let me look on my Twitch real fast. But yeah, today I'm going to I wanna try and scare myself with images and videos. First, I'm gonna look up some megalophobia stuff, because that scares me. 150 watts under the PSU's max wattage. Yeah. I also saw somewhere that I am scared of fish, but only in real life. I don't mind pictures of fish. I did see somewhere that you can like cut the wattage in half with like some program or something. I don't know. Monetization, ads. Table pre-roll. You can stack up to 3 minutes of mid-rolls to disable pre-rolls for 1 hour, keeping your stream pre-roll ad-free. Okay, so they didn't mess with the pre-rolls and stuff. Undervolting? I don't know anything. Yeah, fish! Tell it to my laptop so I might share it on the Discord tomorrow if I don't forget. I would like to see. What did you make? Was it like visual or audio? A 3-minute ad break every 60 minutes. Yeah, okay. Undervolt in the BIOS. Do that, but I want the performance I paid top dollar for. Yeah. I might undervolt or whatever. I just want to be able to play video games again. I just want to be able to stream video games. How to undervolt NVIDIA GPU. Let me actually see what I have. What are my specs? My system info. I've got 11th gen Intel Core. Originally I was studying some Russian. I thought, hey, I want some music, so I threw together some synthy ambient music. Later I thought, what if I slowed it down? And well, yeah, you day-cored yourself. You day-cored. Temperature right now is 58 Celsius. My V core is 1.22. I don't know what that means. Oh, my memory is a Samsung. Hi, Naki. Hello. I'm looking at my computer specs. So, okay. Is that the one that... Yeah, it says my memory, my NVIDIA GeForce RTX 2060. I clicked on that, and it says memory, 6144 MB of SD RAM. SDRAM. It's a Samsung. Isn't that the one that was affected by the Windows update? Wasn't it Samsung memory? No? Zero errors. SSDs with Phison memory controller. I'm looking at my stuff. You sang your last Samsung, Samsung. I do not want it, Samsung. I'm looking at things and it seems fine for right now. My GPU and CPU temperatures are a little high, but that's to be expected with all the stuff that I run. That update made drives vanish and reappear after a restart. Oh. There was, I had something, I had one of my drives on my laptop disappear one time, but that was just because my battery pack was so fucking bloated. 54 Celsius? My NVIDIA is at 65 Celsius right now. And then my Intel core is at 77. Ugh. Speaking of numbers, my heart rate was 81 today. Yippee! My blood pressure was a little bit low, but that was just because I had just woken up. I had just woken up and then I had a cinnamon roll and some coffee. Ryzen CPUs? Intel too high? I'll look at that. Don't like the German version that much. I've heard that the German version, the Sin, that she actually is kind of scary. The German Sin. I've heard that she's quite frightening. Never seen such a swollen battery. Do you remember that? Do you remember when that happened to me? It was so bad. Oh my god. It was like an actual pillow. Very spicy. A video of the Jordan VA doing the lines, and yeah, it was cool. Yeah! I've seen clips of the Russian dub as well. And Doll speaks English in the Russian dub. It's funny. Yeah. Doll speaks English. Let me actually look. Murder Jones Russian dub Doll. Yeah, hold on. I'm gonna play it. Hold on, let me copy this. I'm pulling it up. I'm pulling it up. I don't know who that is.
А твои родичи где?
Dead. I watched them die.
As they say in English. Oops, I should have predicted someone could escape out of a ventilation shaft using discarded mirrors as a stairs.
As they say in English.
Hi, V.
Yeah. she speaks English in the Russian dub.
Anyway, you get it. Uzi, you would really side with the murder drones?
She has an accent, but yeah, she speaks English. I think it's funny. Big bot. Whoops. Wrong video. There we go. Yeah, her voice is kind of sexy. Russian voices just always are. The women have deep voices over there. I like a deep voiced lady. The German workers are speaking German, but they didn't overdub that in the actual German version, so you just randomly have some guys speak non-VA German. I love stuff like that. I think it's funny. I wonder. Don't shrub me like string cheese. You're so sexy. No Russian dub doll voice actor. Please don't shred me to pieces. You're so sexy. Please don't. Hold on. 1 second. I have to answer a text. My heart rate went down to like 76. Okay. How much dialogue any voices for? Yeah, and you would also need somebody to like translate everything into Russian. You'd also need, yeah, you would need a translator, I'm pretty sure. What was I gonna look up? I forgot. It's hot in here. My brain don't work. Twitch learn context, yeah. In English, but with Russian accents. Oh, okay. Dubbing for other languages is weird. That particularly reminded me of Vinland Saga. The viewer, everyone speaks Japanese, but in universe they speak English, Norse, and French, and they can't understand each other. Yeah, that's like, what is it? Yuri on Ice? Spanish dub can be hit or miss, at least Latin American one. Yeah, I've heard well, my favorite dub of anything is the Mario song German dub. Cause he's just screaming the entire time. Hold on. German dub. The German Mario song. Yeah. Hold on.
Macht den Mario, schwing die Arme auf und ab, setzt euch jetzt in Trab. Super Mario, ein Schritt vor und noch einmal, hey, tanzt den Mario, meine Freunde, ja! So geht's! Das ist der Mario! Macht
Das ist der Mario!
Arme auf und ab, setzt euch jetzt in Trab. Super Mario, ein Schritt vor und noch einmal, hey, tanzt den Mario, meine Freunde, ja! Tanzt den Mario, ja, so geht's!
Sounds like that Austrian bus driver. Wait, what? Why is he angry? I don't know. I don't know why he's screaming the entire time. Just focus. Eddie Gordo be speaking Portuguese and Kazuya speaking Japanese, and they understand each other like nothing. I have heard some pretty bad Spanish dubs. Like, I don't remember which anime it was. Was it Naruto that had the really bad Spanish dub, or was it Dragon Ball Z? It was one of those, I think. None. What was it that I heard that it was like really low quality? It was some anime, I don't remember what it was. Tekken feels like an AU where the Tower of Babel was completed. That's funny. Oh, I need to watch the Knights of Guinevere fucking pilot. I didn't get to watch it. You want to see it? Yes. If it sounds like the German Mario song, then yes. I know, I saw the trailer and it looked really good.
Hole Tieren zu, super, dann postet. Schau dir dein Wichser an. Ich mein, no provokanter kannst nicht vorm Bus dahin spazieren. Geht's dir nicht ganz gut? Schau, dass du mit dem Wichser nicht steig aus! Was ist denn jetzt? Willst du das nochmal verboten? Ich trau jetzt knack. Haberer, schau das da mal. Alter, mach die Tür auf. Was ist dein fucking Problem, Alter? Haberer,
Fucking problem!
warum die auslosen Pensionisten heim? Wo ist die Pflegerin? Warum kann ich den Simulator keinen Seitenscheitel ziehen? Alle die
He's so mad!
Tieren zu, super. Dann
Looked up Doll's VA for the Russian dub and I found Doll's shipping wiki. Wait, what? Like people shipping Doll with others? With other drones? But things are a little smoother in the subsequent episodes. Felt a little bumpy, but I understand they were trying to lay down all the major players right away. Yeah, and also Glitch, and with 8 episode series in general, they are a little rushed because they have to like get all of the stuff out in 8 episodes, which isn't very long. The gay robots with PTSD, yeah. Absolute Doll, so shit between Doll and the Solver? What? What? When you ship a character with her and her own genetics. With her and her DNA. Because it was passed down genetically to Doll. So the Solver doesn't actually, like... I don't think it, like, interacts with her. Because she's not a host or anything. The only ship I could see would be, like, Doll and Lizzie. Doll and Thad? Why? They like don't interact. I don't think they interact. That one's called Dizzy. Oh, I like that. I like that name. That's funny. Yeah, I don't think Doll and Thad like even look at each other once. Send me the wiki. Okay, hold on. I love that it's just a vector of her. We'll mash any character together and it'll pop off somehow. I didn't think that... I don't know. Doll knife is Doll and her knife. That's gotta be a joke one. Who is Mitchell? Hold on, who is Mitchell? Who is Mitchell? There's just one person that ships Yuri and Minat from Street Fighter. Or is it Jury? I don't know. Is it Yuri or Jury? When they had like no kid interaction, people ate that Yuri up. I didn't think people even liked Doll this much. The ship between Doll and Con Dorman? The ship between Doll and Tessa? This is the ship between Doll and Mitchell. Who the fuck is that? Okay. Jerry. Is this still about Murder Jones? Yeah, I'm trying to look up who the fuck Mitchell is. Mitchell. Who is this? Hello, hero. This just shows. This just shows Tessa's mother. Who is Mitchell? Human lady from the flashback? Yeah, it shows that's Tessa's mother. And then it shows Mitchell murder drones. And it doesn't show anything. Who is that? The goat Mitchell? Thought those robot dogs while smoking a cigar. I have no idea who Mitchell is. It doesn't show anything. I don't know. Who is that? I don't know who Mitchell is. Okay, anyway. There's shifts between doll and her. Yeah, I didn't mention those. I wanted to forget that those existed. Dude, hi! Thank you for the 15 stream streak. Yippee! Let's watch video. Let's watch videos. Okay. Sippy time. Hold on, let me take a drink. What's you guys drinking tonight? I got water. Billy Mitchell. I'm not sure I know who that is. Megalophobia. Who's down for doll X the green M&M? That's like that's basically who Mitchell is to me. The green M&M. That's how far removed from from murder drones I think I am. Just water, got whiskey. Why'd you search up soda pop? No, I don't have my search history on, so it's just showing me random shit. I don't have my search or watch history on, so it's just showing me random stuff. SpongeBob SquarePants full episodes. It does know me. You can disable that? Yeah. And like, see, look, history. This has no videos. See, I have my watch history off. You're M! Is this like a video essay, or is it... I don't want to watch a video essay.
The fear of big things is an eerie.
Fuck off! I don't want to hear you talk. Sorry to this man. Have you guys seen the Arabic SpongeBob? Like SpongeBob goes to, where was it? he goes to the capital of Iran or something. He seemed like a cool dude. I just don't want to watch a video essay right now. Hold on. Iranian SpongeBob. Oh, it's Persian, and he's going to Tehran. He's going to Tehran. Video started doing Gangnam Style.
این داستان آقای خرچنگ بدبخت شده.
بابا اون ساختمونه رو میگم اون وسط. آی که ساختمون نیست داشته من میدون آزادیم.
And they're at Azadi Square. Persia is Iran? Okay. I don't know different names for different places.
دستور تهیه کجایی؟ دقیقاً کجایی؟ دقیقاً کجایی؟ چی کار میکنی مگه کورید ها؟ این دیگه چیه؟ اینا تو روزنامه چی کار میکنن؟ برای تهیه دستور سری خرچنگی رفتن ایران.
ایران.
میتونه جلوی منو بگیره. هیچ طرف بسته
Persian is the language, the modern day country is Iran. Okay, okay.
لعنت بر هر در بسته‌ای که بی موقع باز میشه.
I love the voice acting. It's just so nothing.
کارین، همسر عزیزم، همسر دلبندم، همسر کامپیوتری من دارم میرم ایران صدای
I'm going to Iran. I am going to Iran.
داری میشنوی صدامو؟ من دارم میرم ایران. کارین پلانکتون صدامو داری؟
من اصلا صدا تو نمیشنوم. پلانکتون میشه صدای مشتری رو قطع کنی؟ اینجوری من نمیشنوم تو چی داری میگی.
باشه قطع میکنم. بیا قطع. بدون صدای مشتری چه سوت و کوره اینجا. راستی خب داشتم میگفتم من دارم میرم دیگه. خداحافظ.
I'm going to Iran.
باشه فقط زودتر برو. میخوام اینجا رو تمیز کنم تو دست و پای.
چقدر احساساتی.
That Kung Fu Panda ripoff, that was called, Panda Fighter or something. At some point they renamed it to Iran. Don't know why though. Yeah, I know geography, but I'm not super familiar with like countries' old names and stuff. No, it's called the Little Panda Fighter. Hold on. The Little Panda Fighter. The Prince of Iran, yeah. Little Panda Fighter.
In this corner, weighing in at over 800 pounds, the national heavyweight champion for 2 consecutive years, the dangerous, fabulous Freak Teddy!
Freak Teddy? Is that his name? Freak Teddy? Ew, what is that?
And entering the ring, a brand new challenger, weighing in at 700 pounds. Please welcome the Great Bear of Mystery!
Okay. I would think that polar bears weigh more than grizzly bears, but...
Curious about this not-so-great bear is how long it'll take before he starts screaming for his mama.
Folks, it looks like our competitors are ready. Gentlemen, please remove your robes and let the battle begin!
Oh! I don't believe it! Could it be? It looks like Pancata!
Nah, it can't be. He's over there mopping the floor.
It doesn't look anything like him, but okay. What is he doing? Yeah, I think you're right. It's definitely a grizzly bear though, right? Festival de Danza. I think this was like originally Brazilian. I don't remember, because that was Portuguese. I'm pretty sure. The Portuguese little, the Portuguese Kung Fu Panda knockoff.
Look, Mr. Grizzlepuss, it is Pancata. No wonder he was saying all those silly things this morning.
You're right, that dopey kid must have a death wish.
He couldn't.
Okay, anyway. Megalophobia videos. How about that? I don't want... Yeah, I don't want fucking... What is it? Shorts. Not big enough. Not big enough, lights are off. He got hit! Hi, Toku! Not big enough. Not big enough. Yeah, lights are off is... Oh, that's big enough. Ooh! Lights are off is kind of... I don't want to be mean, but it's kind of content slop. I mean, they're well made. But it's like this quality. Me when I don't get my Taco Bell burrito. That was Cartoon Cat. I don't know if you're allowed to do that. If you've seen one, you've seen them all, literally. As long as it's constructive. Yeah, they're all the same. This funny creature runs at camera. Megalophobic image? Yes. Yeah, hello, Rogue. Alright, let's look at this. Oh! What is that? The fucking... What was it called? See, I don't know how big Los Angeles is. The... Yucatan meteor? No. What was it called? Hold on. Meteor that killed the dinosaurs. What was it called? Yeah, Big Rock number 3. Oh, I don't know how to pronounce that. Oh yeah, it is in the Yucatan Peninsula. Chicxulub. I don't know. I can't. It's like Mayan. How do you pronounce that? Oh, look at that! Whoa! Whoa, did you see that? Okay. How do you pronounce it though? The pronunciation. How'd you do that? I just looked up the meteor and it did that. Chicxulub. 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 Chicxulub? Chick-fil-A.
We are looking at how to pronounce this name as well as
this name.
how to say more interesting names from Mexico as well, so make sure to stay tuned and consider subscribing for more learning. This is an impact crater buried underneath the Yucatan Peninsula. How do you pronounce it? Chicxulub. Chicxulub. Chicxulub crater.
Chicxulub. Yeah, is that a picture of the Chicxulub crater? Or not the crater, the meteor? Half the video was self-advertising, it really was. It's just the Chicxulub meteor. It's as big as Los Angeles. Whoa. Yippee. Oh, I hate that. The Chick-fil-A meteor. Is this just a bunch of lights are off? Yeah, I don't really want to. How about r/megalophobia? Giant Winnie the Pooh invades traffic. Not big enough. He said, stop! A song that gives off megalophobia vibes? Sure. More long than big. I think it's plenty big. It was a really big kidney stone, yeah. was just Black Star. Oh, I don't like that. That made me feel weird. That made me feel weird. I don't like that. It gets worse. Oh no. Was bladder solidify? What are the most well, now it's like weird. It makes me feel like something bad is gonna happen.
Something's in my ass.
It's giving me dread. It's like some tight farting and screaming. Megapina squid. I hate that thing. Hold on. Y'all need to look at this. This fucking thing. I hate it. Look at how far its legs go down. Ugh! It's literally the fucking tripods from War of the Worlds. Not the 2025 version though, the one with Ice Cube. Not the Ice Cube one, the one from 2005. Yeah, he's not dangerous, but like, I don't like him. The giants found in the deepest parts of our oceans. It's giving me heartburn, dude. I'm getting agita.
Here's a fun fact for you. Did you know that until just recently, more people had been to the moon than to the deepest parts of our own oceans?
Yes.
Far below the surface, past where the last ray of sunlight touches, is the bottom of the ocean, which is a place that most things, let alone people, and well, wet. But in reality, the ocean is actually separated into 5 distinct layers.
Oh my god, look at that fucking
rules, so to
that
speak.
sperm whale.
And the deeper you go, the more alien it gets, despite some zooids handle
That
movements.
makes my fucking brain tingle. These dark ambient as intros, outros, or intermissions.
Others feeding, and others still doing the dirty. And despite technically all being separate to each other, each zooid cannot survive on its own. And they must rely on each other in some ways. One round is easy to think about.
Look at the
Here we have a
fucking sperm
creature
whale.
longer than a freak.
It makes my brain tingle.
Which is crazy to think about.
Fucking down there.
Here we have a creature longer than a freaking blue whale, and yet most people have never heard of it. And yet, unlike a blue whale, it simply drifts through the dark in silent fashion, trailing its long bioluminescent tendrils like deep-sea cobwebs. And these tendrils, or tentacles, are filled with things called nematocysts, which is the same thing that jellyfish have and are used to sting and paralyze prey, which is exactly what the Priodubia uses them for as well, preying on things like gelatinous sea life, small crustaceans, and possibly
Can't believe the
small fish.
underwater worms
But
are
thankfully
getting
for
more
us,
pale than I
submarine is
do.
not a part of its diet, and so we move on. As we get to the 1,000 meter mark, or 3,280 feet, we're now fully embraced by the bathypelagic zone, the midnight zone. It's here in this perpetual night that we might encounter one of the ocean's most elusive phantoms, Stygiomedusa gigantea, aptly nicknamed the giant phantom jelly. This massive jellyfish is almost mythic in its rarity. Since its discovery in 1899, humans have spotted it only about 110 times in 110 years. Which is crazy, because as its name so nicely puts it, this guy is no small fry. Its bell, i.e. the head you could say, spans 1 meter across, which is impressive, but it's really its arms that are truly freakish. And I say arms rather than tentacles because it doesn't really have any tentacles, so to
It
speak.
actually, the
Instead,
iron one
favoring
was
just 4
inevitable.
massive oral arms that stretch up to 10 meters in length,
It
flowing behind
actually
it
looks
almost
like a
like
fucking
ghostly
eldritch
cryptic
monster.
curtain. And so without tentacles, they have no stingers. So you might be wondering, how does it feed then? And here's the really creepy part. It basically
Wait, it
just
was
uses
that
its
man!
arms to completely engulf prey like a living net. And that's pretty
A
out there.
random
But what's
man.
really shocking is that this seemingly delicate jelly-filled creature is actually one of the largest invertebrate predators in the deep sea, competing directly with squids and even whales for food. So yeah, better hope you don't run into
I
one
don't
of these
think
guys
whales
if you
are
decide to take a little
invertebrates.
swim. But something that's even
Sir.
worse to run into, or rather swim into, is this guy,
colossal
Mesonychoteuthis
squid.
hamiltoni, also known as the colossal squid,
Yeah.
the largest and most formidable invertebrate on our
Explore
planet.
space more than we have around
Forget
oceans.
everything you think you know about squid. As unlike the little guys towards the surface, which are
Look at
named the
him.
calamari, you'd have an
I
easier
wanna
time
eat
turning a
squid.
lion into a steak,
I wanna
as these
try it.
deep-dwelling nightmares are built like an underwater tank, weighing up to 495 kilograms. And they're not just big,
I
but
wanna
also
eat
terrifying,
one.
as its tentacles don't just have suckers,
that,
they
yummy.
have rotating, serrated hooks that function like biological, well, hooks.
When a
And
teacher
these
tries
hooks
to
will
insert
swivel
a
and lock
serrated
onto prey,
meme into the
ensuring that
lecture,
whatever
yeah.
the colossal squid
There was
grabs
one
does
time,
not escape.
in my environment society class in college, we were watching, I don't know what we were watching some kind of space video, and he brought up Vsauce, and he said, "Hey, Vsauce here, where are your fingers?"
And just to drive home how dangerously sharp these
The
suckers
Sherman
are,
discounts.
no pun intended, take a look at this picture.
Look at that
The
fucking sperm
scars
whale
that many
eating
times
that-
line some of
that
the largest
squid.
animals on Earth comes from the colossal squid and its cousin. And if that's not scary enough, why don't you take a look at what it is looking at you with? Those right there, my friend, are the largest eyes in the animal kingdom, measuring
Yummy.
up to 30 centimeters across, and making it bigger than a basketball. And in case you're wondering, your eyes are probably only around 2.4 centimeters, so over 10 times smaller. But lucky for you,
Nuh-uh.
in order to come across these guys, you'll most likely need to be around 1,500 meters, or 4,921 feet.
I could
But if
probably
you
take
do
it.
dare to go to these depths in your little submarine, you
I could
might
probably
find
beat it
another
up.
equally terrifying creature waiting for you, and that is Somniosis pacificus,
The
i.e.
Greenland shark.
the Pacific sleeper shark.
Oh, the sleeper
Now
shark.
don't let this name fool you, because this guy is a whole 7 meters of pure danger.
And they live-
Danger that might also
No.
live for up to hundreds of years.
Yeah, I
being
was gonna say
closely
they
related
live
the
up to
Greenland
like
shark,
150
which
years.
I talked about on another video, which if you haven't seen it, you might want to check it out.
There's
And not
just one
only
problem.
is it a giant
Open your
shark
front
that prowls the depths for prey,
Dude, my
it
front
might
door
actually
is
be
like a fucking-
the giant shark.
It's like a
meaning it might be the
fucking
largest macropredatory shark
fort
in
door.
the entire world. As there was one sighting, which
It's
while
so
unconfirmed,
big and heavy.
did mention a sleeper shark that
I have
measured
to use both
9.2
hands to
meters
open it.
or 30 feet long, which if true, would make it bigger than a great white. A lot bigger. And while this guy again does not have submarine on its menu, who knows if it wouldn't try a little test bite. But alas, if we assume you survive and continue descending downwards, you would eventually hit 2,000 meters or 6,561 feet. And if you look out the window, you might even see a little sign saying, "Welcome to
Survival
this,"
horror door,
because
yeah, I
that
do.
is exactly where you are.
I've
But
got
as you look
the-
for this totally real sign,
I've got
you might
bulkhead
instead be
for a
greeted
front
by
door. That's
what looks
basically
like a
what mine
giant
is.
prehistoric cockroach.
I've got like
Except this is no cockroach,
the Left 4 Dead
but rather
2
a giant
safe room
isopod,
door
which goes by
as
the
my
name
door.
Bathynomus
That's my front door.
giganteus. Now, if you've ever found pill
Dude,
bugs
I
or
saw
roly-polies in your
a
garden,
horror movie
well,
with
congratulations.
one of these
You've met the
fucking
tiny
freaks.
cousins of one of the deep sea's most iconic giants. But while your garden variety reaches maybe half an inch or so,
It was
these
like they were
abyssal-dwelling
small in the
relatives
water
grow
and
to
people
50
drank the
centimeters long,
water.
or over 1.5 feet.
And
So
they
now try to
like
imagine a
grew
bug like
in their
that
bellies
scurrying
and
across your
burst
kitchen
out
floor.
of them. It was fucking
Yeah,
weird.
Not a great image. But what
It's
makes
called
these
The
giant
Bay, if you
isopods
ever wanna
truly
watch it.
remarkable isn't just their size, but their patience.
Your body would
You
implode
see,
before
when
they could
food
take a
is
single
scarce,
bite, leaving
which is
only
honestly
a faint
probably most of the time in the deep,
area
these
in the
creatures
surrounding
enter a
water.
state of near
You
suspended
got red
animation.
on you.
And I don't use the word suspended
You
lightly.
turned into
One
red.
specimen at Japan's
Oh
Toba
shit,
Aquarium
red.
went 5 years without eating. Again, 5 years without a meal. Can you
God, I
imagine not
wish that were
having
me.
eaten anything since 2020? I think I'd die. Literally.
No, I wish that were
And
me,
another
dude.
abyssal
I-
animal that also resembles
I
a
wish
bug
I didn't have,
without
I didn't
actually being
have
one
to have food.
is something that I am fully convinced came out of the movie Alien. A creature that would make even the bravest explorer's skin crawl. And that is Colossendice colossia, also known as the giant sea spider. And despite their name, these aren't true spiders, but instead belong to an ancient lineage that diverged from the arthropod lineage hundreds of millions of years ago, or were somehow dropped on our planet by the engineers. Like, tell me the 16th sea spider does not look like a facehugger. The good news is that most sea spiders are tiny creatures, sometimes being as small as just 1 millimeter, or 0.03 inches.
Steps
but this
on
deep
it.
sea nightmare
Ew,
has legs
steps
that
on
span
it.
over 70 centimeters, or 27 inches. So, up to 700 times larger than its much smaller brethren. But the truly bizarre aspect of this creature isn't just
Crunches
its
it.
size, but what
Crunches
happens
it underneath
inside.
my boot.
You see, its internal organs have actually migrated into its legs, because there simply isn't enough room in its tiny body.
Takes off its legs.
And this is actually something that extends to all sea spiders. So in other words, imagine if your liver and intestines had suddenly decided to relocate into your thighs. That's essentially what's
Who says
happening
that they
here.
aren't?
Like I said,
I
an
got
alien.
big thighs.
But perhaps the one that can top it in terms of alienness is a creature found near hydrothermal vents at depths between 2,000 and
spider?
3,000 meters, or 6,500 to 9,800 feet. What we're looking at here is Riftia pachyptila, the giant tube worm. These beings, which can grow to 2.4 meters or 7.9 feet, have
They look like
evolved
a
so
colon.
dramatically that they've dispensed
It's a
with the
little
most
butthole.
basic
Look at
animal
that.
features. In other words, they don't have a mouth, they don't have a stomach, and they don't have digestive systems. Instead, their body houses billions of bacteria and a specialized organ called the trophosome. These microscopic partners convert hydrogen sulfide, a chemical so toxic that it would kill most animals instantly, into food. And they do all of this in water hot enough to cook food
Motherfucker
thoroughly.
eats,
And under pressure, they'll crush a human like an empty
cyanide
soda
for
can.
breakfast,
So basically,
actually.
they defy everything we know about being an animal. But alas, our submersible journey is not complete until we've reached the most extreme depths. In other words, the Hadal Zone. And in this zone, between 7,000 and
Zachary Hadal
8,500
Zone.
meters, in the crushing darkness of the deep ocean, we find our final giant, Alicella gigantea. These oversized amphipods are distant relatives of the tiny beach hoppers you might see jumping around seaweed on a beach.
I've
But
never
while their
seen those. What
surface
the fuck is
cousins
that?
measure just a few millimeters, Alicella has evolved to reach lengths up to 34 centimeters
So is it like
or
a flea?
13.4 inches, with body weights exceeding 500 grams.
I don't like that. It's
which, to
making
put that
my
into
legs
perspective,
itch.
would be like finding an ant the size of a guinea pig in your backyard. So big, to say the least.
Big.
But with all that said, this does raise one important question, and that's why? Why does the deep sea, with all its crushing pressure, frigid temperatures, and scarce resources, produce such oversized life forms? Why does a squid become half a ton, a
Look at that guy.
roly-poly into a monster, and a worm into a human-sized tube? Well, like most things
The
in
dark
nature,
day
there
evaded
isn't a
his
single
gaze.
answer, just a pile of rather compelling ones. Temperatures are first suspect. Down in the deep, it's cold, typically around 2 to 4 degrees Celsius, or 35 to 39 degrees Fahrenheit. And so for cold-blooded animals, colder temperatures slow down metabolism dramatically, and this metabolic slowdown allows them to grow more slowly over much longer lifespans. So basically, instead of burning bright and fast like their shallow water relatives, they take their time. And then food scarcity plays another crucial role. Because the deep sea doesn't really have any convenient snacks drifting by every few minutes, if you want to survive, you need range, endurance, and a body that can store energy. And so as a bigger animal, you can
Thalassophobia
not
on
only travel far,
steroids, dude. Hell yeah. I don't want to learn about oceanography.
For
Give me
many-
the
by
Mosasaurus.
far the most famous of these aquatic monsters, and
Is this
likely
the same
worst
dude
to swim into,
on a different
were the
channel?
mosasaurs. This was an extinct group of aquatic reptiles that could grow to massive sizes, and were characterized by body shapes similar to that
That
of
does go
monitor
hard.
lizards. However, unlike their modern-day relatives,
job.
mosasaurs had 4 paddle-like flippers instead of limbs, and their bodies were elongated and streamlined for maximum drag reduction. Depending on how advanced the said species was, these guys would have also swam like an eel in an undulating fashion, or as in later developed mosasaurs, like a shark, as they had larger tail flukes that they used to propel themselves with surprising speed. These powerful swimmers completely dominated the western interior seaway, often being the biggest predators and sporting highly specialized teeth that were typically large, sharp, and sometimes
Mega.
serrated. Their
Mega
success
stallion.
ultimately resulted in them enjoying a high level of diversification that they didn't experience anywhere else, as over 10 genera are known to have
Megalophobia
coexisted.
test. Level 4, fear. I don't want shorts. Give me videos. Give me videos, not shorts. I don't exactly enjoy Mr. Friends content either. It is also, it's very similar to Lights Are Off. Why are these all shorts? Yeah, I'm gonna go back to the subreddit. Sinkholes in China look like giant rocks. Lingshan Buddha, Wuxi, China. I heard someone else say it before, but shorts would have been should have been a separate website. Yeah. The album Megalodon by Guttural Slug has a large shark on it, but I don't know if it's big enough to scare you. Megalodons are pretty big. The wet Buddha. Oh, I don't like this one. Approaching a colossal tower of wind. Do you mean a tornado? I'm pretty sure that's what a tornado is. And also, you should back up. 2020 Beirut explosion. Improperly stored ammonium nitrate. Ugh. Ah, we have an ad coming in 1 minute. Oh, look at that fucking freak! Hi, I run 3-minute ads every hour on my channel so that I can disable pre-roll ads. So if you are not subscribed to me or if you don't have Twitch Turbo, please stick around to the 3 minutes. I would very much appreciate it. Thank you. One of the elemental crystals is, yeah, dude. I would like to see the shark, yes. This one is like giving me trypophobia. I don't like this one. Nah, that's not as big as a megalodon. I don't think. But the fuck, that logo's really cool. I do like that. Teeth. Ew, I don't let me look at the trypophobia stuff. I don't like that. No, I've seen bigger. Yeah, I have. Megalodons are bigger than that, I'm pretty sure. There's a way to filter out shorts, right? I don't know, they're all fucking shorts. Video. Fuck. 4 to 20 minutes. Okay. The huge is terrifying. I don't want to watch Mr. Friend. Megalophobia and horror games. Ooh. Ooh.
Megalophobia. This is the fear of incredibly massive things, which could honestly range from anything simple as giant
I've played
structures
Mega.
all the way down to Earth-destroying. Pretty scary tier. The Shore. I loaded into this
That was
game
kind
and
of-
put it in the pretty scary tier.
Okay. Don't make fun of me. I think that's kind of hot. He's kind of sexy, right? He's like got a fat ass. He's like got a fat ass. Look at him. Yeah. Look at it. Why'd they have to give him such a big fucking ass? Interesting fear? Yeah. Share your fears.
The Shore.
God
I loaded it.
damn, look at
put
that.
It in the pretty scary tier.
Damn,
The
baby.
Shore. I loaded into this game and I immediately heard an.
I mean, listen, here's another thing that I think is hot. The Final Fantasy XIV Ultima weapon. This thing. Look at it. I think this thing is sexy. Look at him. Look, he's got like a slutty little waist.
Old guy like talking to himself.
MLP Creepypasta Cupcakes gets to me? Why so?
Dear Ellie, I have to find her.
That's all I get told. All right. He basically said that he needs to get his daughter back, and for some reason
For
he's
things
on
that
a
can
very...
crush you. No, okay, if it's just he's got a big fat ass and he's got a slutty little waist, and he's got big ass legs. Ramatra, hold on. Ramatra. I don't know, what's his ass look like? It goes back before even the Bronze Age. It gets scary because you have less and less sources and it becomes like a void. Yeah, that is kind of scary. I don't I look up evolutionary reasons for things a lot because I'm interested in evolution and stuff. Oh, this is okay. Yeah, he's kind of hot here. When it's like we don't know, it just happens. That's kind of creepy to me. I don't like it. So back in the day, there was this one video on the, what is that? With really good voice acting and sound design. That video stuck with me since 2012. Oh, on the story, yeah. Yeah, back when I played Final Fantasy 14 a lot.
Then I started exploring this area as this.
I would listen to My Little Pony Grimdarks while I was playing it, and they have like really good voice acting.
Old head, I guess just finding clues on what to do. What the what was that?
Who is that?
Oh,
oh, he's an Overwatch character?
I don't know what I just found. After seeing a few creepy things inside the lighthouse and below it, whatever that was, I heard a super deep voice talk to me. The deep voice told me that he needed my help, and in return, I'd get my daughter. Gosh. I then did this underwater part, which made me pyramid that gives me like laser powers in my hand, and then it cuts me to a dark dimension. Okay, so I have laser ability.
Linked to humans living alongside or distant realm. Yeah, that's what I think it is too. I think it's like when humans and Neanderthals lived like side by side. I think that is where the uncanny valley came from.
Holy shit, that is insane.
Oh, I don't like that. You know what else?
Oh, chill out.
Hold on. Ending to look outside. All endings. This game fucking rocks. You defeat this boss. And then you go up to this thing, and it's a big eyeball. Describe a scenario of another humanoid just appearing and snatching your kid. Yeah. I said Toby explained. I was like, who the fuck is Toby? Toby Fox explained. And then you go into it. And you talk to it. What is this? Yeah, there's the eyeball. Damn. This is you. Damn. What are these, Sam? For everyone to look deformed and mutated. That is Hills Have Eyes. I think. Coffee at 8 p.m. Oh no! I'll not forget you. Which one of the endings has it like zoom out? There it is. This. Do you want to see me? How big are you anyway? You are very small. I'll just say, this is not me. It's only an impression of me. I can show you the real me. Will you look? I will show you. visitor plants a vivid image in my head. You feel vertigo as a sense of sheer scale overtakes you. Your mind, for a moment, feels the immensity of this body. It seems there is a slight misunderstanding regarding what it means to truly see his form. This is no mere image. You feel this. Look at it! You're given the glimpse of the visitor's proprioception, its own subjective experience of itself, of its own body. This was a mistake. A big mistake. Oh no. Yeah! The image shifts. Scale grows. There is more. Your mind shifts in response, absorbing the information. There is too much. You were already overwhelmed before, and the image has grown 100-fold. Your mind frays at the edges. Look at it! The image shifts again. The scale grows. There is more. Parts of your brain are wiped clean. Your understandings of language, your perception of time, memories of your childhood, gone. Devoured by the ever-expanding idea that was planted there. Ah! The image shifts again. The scale grows. There is more. Most of your brain has been repurposed to experience it. Your mind still drinks. It cannot stop, no matter how full. Feels like a skill issue. The image shifts again. The scale grows. There is more. The visitor's image screams into your ears, fills your nose, blinds your eyes. Every nerve of your body feels it. The image shifts again. The scale grows. There is more. Every engram melts at the visitor's revelation. Synapses form and reform to accommodate overwhelming knowledge. Less than 1/100th of a second has passed. Your brain cells implode, their molecules reforming into something new and unfathomable. The true death toll can never be known, but nearly all of humanity is wiped out in just a few months. The visitor left behind a terrible beast. Its countless limbs, tipped with sucking mouths, devour people by the dozens. Yeah, this game is fucking cool. A Caro in your skin suddenly being able to see you. Ugh. Cosmic horror, yeah. This is actually quite appropriate for driving a person insane. Most people can't fully comprehend 1 billion as a number, let alone something like that. Yeah, I can't, like, as soon as something is bigger than the Earth, like right here, this is just like a little tiny piece of it. It kinda doesn't feel like anything to me. Because I can't comprehend it. Because my brain is not, I can't comprehend it. Hi, Aardvark. Yeah, this game fucking rules. I'm into that. That thing is still microscopic on a galactic scale. I think it gets bigger. Like, there's the Milky Way back there, and then here's the thing. You watch Bird Box? No. But I've seen people talk about it. Does it show the monsters? Yep, it's bigger than the... That's just a nebula. The Milky Way has billions of stars. Yeah, it's a... Yeah. Do the people go mad from looking at them? Word. I want to see the monsters. I want to see how big they are. But yeah, if you guys have never played or watched Look Outside, it's really, really good. It's by... Francis Colomb. That's the guy that made it. Francis Colomb. really, really cool. It's let's look at it. $8 right now. And it's really long. It's like multiple hours long. What the fuck is this? Is this Francis? Whenever I explain to people how big the universe is, I always tell them this. The Milky Way has more stars than the Sahara Desert has grains of sand. I don't like that. I don't like that. I don't want that. Ugh. Tallest statue in Africa. What are they doing? Why are they doing that? Look at him. It's not even a very large galaxy either. Yeah, there's also the Andromeda galaxy. Oh, I don't like that. I want to get away from that. Well, that's cool. It does look like an elephant. Ugh. That's giving me megalophobia. Head of the Statue of Liberty. Oh, is this when it was being built in France? Burj Khalifa up close. The Burj Khalifa scares the shit out of me. I don't like it. It's too tall. Stop it, Dubai. A monster at work. The Doctor Who episode where the Statue of Liberty gets up and walks away. She said later. Niagara Falls ferry ride. What's it doing? Oh, it's a little baby whale. And it's frozen in time like a spark. Oh. I was calling him the Mia Khalifa to see which degenerate will correct me. I'll devour you. Oh! Zhuhai Grand Theater. Ugh. Mining tunnel. That just looks like a butthole. And we all had the opportunity to exist at the same point in time. Ugh. Ew, that's too many people. The Bass Pro Shop Pyramid? Yeah. I want to go there. I'm going to... I think it's on like the opposite side of Tennessee. I'm going to Tennessee on Monday. But I think I'm going to like the opposite side of the Bass Pro Shops Pyramid. Big Jake! Oh my god! Big Jake. Put Big Jake in Uma Musume. Big Jake. Big boy. Oh, I hate that. That's scary. That's like a fucking... It's like an eldritch beast. Ugh. What are they holding? Oh, I thought it was like a nutsack. It's a seed. Flag of Azerbaijan. A monument to all our sins. The Bass Pro Shop Pyramid. Future Milky Hotel. Look all the bad things for the nightmares. Yeah! Thank you for coming, Lane. I appreciate it. Oh! In the Russian Far East. I hate that. The cavernous inside of St. Peter's Basilica. That would make me... If I looked up, I would like fall backwards. I don't know how to explain that feeling. World's largest dam. World's largest earth-filled dam, Tarbala Dam. Imagine the reverb. Oh, look at that! That's kind of spooky. But yeah, the Great Pyramids were made to line up with the stars and the moon and stuff. Oh my god! Oh, you did. You're fucking dead, dude. You better get inside. I've gone to that basilica. The camera shot was making the perspective way bigger than it is. It looks scary. Yeah. Cause that can fucking kill you. Massive CCTV headquarters in Beijing. Oh, I don't like that. It's just one picture. Look at that. That's like the fucking the scene in Jurassic Park 2. Or is it 3? Which one is the one where the dinosaurs like go to the city? What the fuck is that? The finger of God. What is that? Oh. I didn't know what was up and what was down. I was so confused. That scared me. Look at that. Ugh. This is the surface of the water, and this is underwater. I didn't know what I was looking at. Oh, look at that. Ew! It's like it's like fucking Siren Head. I don't like that. Let's do... Hold on. Creepypasta videos. The woke wind maker. Be careful, the wind gives you cancer.
For a person who is permanently traveling like me, it's a very strange thing to not like hotels. But you know,
he looks like sorry. He looks... Never mind. That fear of the depths. Oh yeah. Sonichu is out of prison. Oh no! Fox and Curiosity. The Jacob Geller one, right? Yeah.
Early in 1925, headlines across...
Shut up.
For many years, we thought the bottom of the world lay in the Krubera Cave.
Oh, I think we've watched this actually.
24 feet below the Caucasus Mountains.
Caucasus.
What does being in a cave feel like?
I think we've watched this. Fear of the huge. Let's just watch this. Why not? I think maybe you did, but I definitely remember watching it on stream. Fear of the huge, because I can
The fear
type.
of big things is an eerily common fear. It's much less rare than you may realize. It seems somewhat irrational, at least at first. But megalophobia, or the fear of the
Oh, I hate
huge,
that.
makes a lot more sense than what's on the surface. In
Dude,
fact,
big waves
the
scare
fear
the
of big
shit out of
things
me!
can be the most justified phobia of them all. It's why, when you really think about megalophobia in all its
Bathophobia?
horror,
It's just fear of people named Beth. My mom's name is Beth. The intense, irrational fear of depths. Oh. I don't know about depths. It doesn't really trigger me as much as megalophobia. Look at this thing. What is that? Fear the town of Bath in the UK. More of a fear of what the fuck is down there? Yeah. But for some reason my brain is just like, there's nothing down there. I don't know why. I fear things that I can see rather than things I can't see. Because I have no depth, not depth perception. I have no object permanence. I'm like a baby.
Have this seemingly strange fear. Megalophobia seems to be universal. It's the kind of fear, that strange fear. Megalophobia seems.
Look at the. Hold on, I'm gonna hide my face cam. You need to. Look at the fucking windmills down there. Oh my god. And you know windmills are huge. Shit. Oh no.
To be universal. It's the kind of fear that even if you don't have it with one example,
is that the
you
Burj
probably
Khalifa?
have it with another.
Oh.
Because the fear of massive structures, space, the never-ending void of the ocean, or monsters larger than what could be naturally possible are all fears and phobias in their own right,
Tokyo.
but also all fall under the umbrella of megalophobia. It's a concept with a lot more depth than you may think. The rabbit hole of megalophobia runs deep.
Well, that's
and you'll
somewhere
come
in China,
to find
I
that this
think.
fear is literally everywhere. So let's have a look at megalophobia and its many sides.
Big
from the most
clouds don't
massive
really bother
structures
me.
to the absolutely colossal monsters.
I want
and the
monsters.
many things in between and beyond. By the time you're done, you might discover a fear
Yummy.
you never knew you had. This is the Golden Finance 117 building in Tianjin, China. It is the 6th largest building in the world. It's nearly 2,000 feet tall, but it holds a dark secret. You've probably never heard of it, because it's routinely absent from rankings of the tallest skyscrapers. Its size is comparable to great structures like the Shanghai Tower, and only 700 feet behind. Size is comparable to great structures like the Shanghai
Second tallest building on
Tower,
Earth. That's what it
and
says
only
down there.
700 feet behind the Burj Khalifa.
Oh yeah, it was
tallest
called the Dead
skyscraper
Man
on Earth.
Walking.
And yet,
It was
nobody
fucking sick. Hold on. It's a sick ass name. Look, it looks like a dude walking. It looks like a Christopher Walken. Dead Man Walking, a rare phenomenon where multiple tornadoes form simultaneously from the same thunderstorm, often appearing like someone walking across the sky. It was in Texas in 1997. Dead Man Walking tornado. It's fucking sick, dude. Look at that. Ugh, sorry my big ass head's in the way, but you can see it over here.
talks about it. Nobody ever recognizes it as the 6th tallest building, and there's a reason for this. The building was originally meant to be a centerpiece for a luxury real estate project within Tianjin, but this isn't what happened. After the 2008 recession and China's 2015 stock bubble burst, Golden Finance 117, along with being the 6th tallest building on Earth, is also the tallest abandoned building on Earth. It's a ghost that haunts the skyline of Tianjin. There's something so compelling about a skyscraper this size being deserted completely. The significance of the structure demands some sort of respect. Whenever we see large megastructures in media or massive complexes in real life, we can be in awe of just how big they are. But we can at least know that there's some point to their size. It's like this with the other top 10 largest buildings on Earth. But there's something so unsettling about structures so huge that serve no purpose. Massive skyscrapers are used for utility, sure, But
I think
secondarily,
I've
they
seen
serve to
or
show just
heard
how economically prosperous the nation
like a
that built it
creepypasta
is.
with this
An
building.
abandoned building of that scale makes
Give me my
no
last sugar
sense.
cookie. Oh no,
So it
Sauron.
still stands that even today, if you search up 6th tallest building in the world, the Lade World Tower will come up. The 7th largest building in the world. Nobody wants to give an abandoned giant the honor of being in the top 10, because it feels uncomfortable, including a forgotten Goliath on the list. It's a
Just a
building
homeless
everyone
hangout?
wants to forget about, but how can they when it eats the skies of Tianjin? But at least Golden Finance actually had the courtesy of existing. There are several skyscrapers and large buildings that simply don't exist, that were only conceptualized on paper and never came to fruition.
I think you
These
can say that about a
buildings
lot of
often aren't
things.
built because their scale is simply so immense. But
You
it's
know,
still
there's a lot of
interesting
things
some
that
of
don't
these structures
exist.
were even proposed and given serious consideration. Works like Isaac Newton's Cenotaph by Etienne Louis Boulet, proposed in 1784, or the Basilica, also proposed by Boulet
Where's
in
the Basilica?
1781 to 1782. But I think my favorite example, and also probably the most evil-looking building I've ever seen actually be considered for construction, is called the Palace of the Soviets, and it was proposed in 1933. If constructed, it would have been over
Oopsie.
100 feet taller than the Empire State Building, with a quarter of that height coming from the massive statue of Vladimir Lenin on the very top, which would have been double the height of the Statue of Liberty from heel to torch. Because of its immense size of 1,365 feet, it would have been visible from most of Moscow, where it was planned to be built, and would have been the tallest building on Earth at the time. The base was completed in 1939, but because of the German invasion, the project was ended in 1941. When imagined what it might have looked like in the modern day, it looks so out of place next to the highways and the surrounding buildings of Moscow. Ironic in modern day Moscow, next to advertisements, billboards, and foreign cars that would be a staple of the American culture the Soviets detested so much. But again, at least the structure had some sort of intentionality behind it. It was meant to be built, even if the foundation wasn't completed. There are many architectural concepts that don't even get this honor. I find that the most interesting and downright terrifying architecture doesn't even exist. It's called fantasy architecture, and you've definitely seen it before.
What the fuck is that?
Any kind of structure that isn't real in games, movies, and all kinds of fiction
What game is that?
considered fantasy architecture. But when it comes to the most
Look like a
immense and
spawn.
colossal examples of fantasy architecture,
Stellar
I think the
Blade?
work of Russian
That looked really
architectural
cool.
theorist Arthur Skisali Wise comes to mind. Wise's work feels so homely, yet out of place. At a first glance, it looks like something that could actually be made.
Egg.
Until you look at it a little closer. You look around the image and begin to
Egg.
notice that none of this stuff serves
Egg
any
tower,
practical
egg tower.
use. Some common themes in Weiss's
It
work
looks
are
good, but it has an
tranquil
alright
bodies of
story. I
water,
kinda lost
which
interest in it.
contrast with bustling retro-futuristic Victorian-era cities surrounding them, usually with an abundance of people or sailboats to
It
show
looks pretty
just how
neat.
large the buildings are.
Giant
They don't
freight
even seem to
elevator
be
going from
doing
the ground
anything
to
in a lot of the
orbit. If you do the
pieces,
math, the
just
way
there
the
to
weight
show the
distribution
true
would work,
scale of these
basically the
titans.
elevator would need to be the
My
size of the
favorite of his
continental
works is
USA. It would
probably
take
the
more
piece
skill than
known
we
as
have the
the
ability
Magic
to
City,
make.
because it shows everything
Tower of
Weiss's
Babel,
work
dude.
is. It is an incredibly dense city, situated on top of massive Victorian columns. Underneath, there's a grand staircase leading to the underbelly of the city. I love this artwork, specifically because it demonstrates just how impractical Weiss's work is. The city itself looks too dense to even live in. It seems to be in the air simply for the sake of being in the air.
Well, the
How
Tower
would
of
one
Babel.
even get to this
Tower
place?
of Babel
What are the
was
people below it doing?
a story in the
Most of
Bible
Weiss's work
where
is just
people
as,
were
if
trying to
not more-
build a tower to reach heaven, and God said no. And so he made it so that there were they all spoke different languages and they couldn't understand each other, so that they couldn't complete the tower.
More impractical than this. But what they all have in common is a
Yeah, that's when
hugeness
languages were
that seems to be
separated.
the only reason for
According
their
to the Bible.
existence. We can only guess as to what the purpose of these structures are. The best way I could describe it would be like if
Stellar
instead
Blade
of
isn't
forming
popular because
mountains,
of its
caves,
story.
and forests, the Earth was made
I've
purely
never
out
heard of it.
buildings, not built
So I guess
by
that
or
proves
for
right.
people. And like
Dude,
we
that's a
confusingly travel out
human.
of buildings,
That's a
not
human
built by
hamster
or for
habitat. What the
people.
fuck is that?
And like we confusingly traveled the colossal landscapes of Earth for thousands of years, so too do the people in Weiss's work travel the endless
Alien.
megastructures. At least, however, Weiss's work is coherent.
It's a 2B situation.
Even without a definite purpose, you could tell that that's some
It's
sort
popular
of tower
because
or a bridge or some kind of platform.
well, it's not popular. I
The
wouldn't
same
say.
cannot be said for
But
the megalophobic works
people only
of
like
Brent
the
Wong. Have you ever seen things in
people
your dreams?
only like the
things
main
your brain
character
creates
because
that are
she's
so
hot.
weird you can't help but think about them long after you wake up? This could be a strange situation you find yourself in, or a strange-looking room in the dream.
I didn't
For
like
the
Nier
paintings of Brent
Automata.
Wong, those weird things would be the monoliths in the back of uncanny landscapes. Wong's art depicts
can
these
make basically
homogeneous,
naked from minute
otherworldly landscapes, sometimes with some sort of house in the foreground,
99% of any talk
what they
online
all
is
share,
Eve's
though,
boobie and
is
butt.
the overwhelmingly massive things
Those
in the
magne-
background.
Those magnetic
Things
sets.
are the
I
best
used to have
description I can give
those.
them. They
I
don't
would
look
put
like
one.
anything
I would
at
just
all.
put them together and just
I
then
would
just
say
go.
Wong's work is akin to early attempts at CGI. It would make sense that these structures in the background don't have any shape if they were
LSD
simply
Dream
testing
Emulator.
geometry in some early CGI software. So you wouldn't be blamed for thinking some inspiration came from the uncanny
Gordon
look
Freeman?
of old computer-generated imagery. But you would be wrong, because Wong painted most of his works in the 70s, a time before CGI became commonplace. It's kind of weird how in his works, Wong was able to predict the aesthetics of something that hadn't even come out yet. I get such a weird feeling looking at these paintings. The fractured buildings seemingly alone in a world without life. The structures in the sky bigger than
This
one
looks
could
like
even imagine.
the
Most
backgrounds
are larger than
of
entire
fucking
mountains. Some
I
look
Have No
like they're
Mouth
in
and I Must
orbit.
Scream.
I get a feeling
The
of
game.
sadness and dread when looking at them. The solitary homes in the middle of a vast,
Wide-mouth
unending, barren
Miku?
wasteland with an unexplainable structure in the sky. It's the sense of stillness these
wide-mouth
images
Miku?
produce that give me a strange sense of calmness.
What is the
Like I could
wide-mouth
just take a
Miku?
seat and simply look out into the landscape and just relax. But there's still an unmistakable fear I have of Wong's paintings.
Do you mean Cal
None of the
CA?
architecture I've mentioned so far would ever be built. Golden Finance 117 sits as a dead giant. Weiss's works will never be built and serve no purpose to any people.
When I
But
get
at
to the
least
monsters.
you can tell what they even
Show me
are.
the monsters.
Wong's structures feel hostile in the way that it's impossible to
There they
discern
are.
their true
Yeah.
intentions. The buildings in the showing what the world could have looked like had we done something different. But I think there is a universal megalophobia, one that even you, someone who might not have this specific fear,
Big monster,
might relate
big
to.
monster, big
It's
monster.
the fear of giant monsters, especially in media.
Look at-
These monsters have often been given the name
Oh, he looks like a
kaiju,
big meatball.
a Japanese word roughly translating to strange
images?
creature. Movies like Godzilla and King
Oh,
Kong
that
are all
one!
examples
Yeah,
of kaiju
okay.
films, and in my opinion, these kaiju might be the scariest and most devastating
doll.
type of monster in horror. But aside from the famous examples like Godzilla, when used effectively, it can be the best kind of monster
And
for
the studio
producing
released the
dread
name and
in an
motion capture
audience.
behind the
And I
scenes. Eve is
personally
just a
think that the
1-to-1
examples I'll
proportion.
show
Body
are the most
proportion of a Korean
terrifying
model.
of the
I
kaiju genre.
love when that happens
The
and the
term
people are just like,
kaiju was
oh.
only coined in the 50s as a name for movies like Godzilla and the Beast from 20,000 Fathoms. But world-ending massive monsters have existed for thousands of years across all cultures and mythology.
Everyone
like
loves a big
Jormungandr
monster.
In Norse mythology,
Ew!
an unfathomably large sea serpent.
Jormungandr.
Or the Kraken, a massive tentacled beast said to inhabit the deep ocean.
I think. That was
originating in
Jormungandr, right?
sightings of the giant squid off the coast of Norway in
Yummy.
1180. And even now, with the advent of the internet, we get massive monsters in the form of memes. I'm going somewhere with this. I
It just
swear.
says, what do you do in this
Alex
situation?
Howard is a channel that creates these animations of massive monsters, usually
Is
destroying
bro
the
okay?
city by merely walking.
What are those?
Usually, these monsters are viewed from the safety of an aircraft, so you can see their scale compared to the surrounding city. Unlike
Gashi
kaiju like
Dokuro.
Godzilla or King Kong that are roughly building-sized and destroy the individual structures in whatever city they're leveling, the monsters of Alex Howard don't even give that
Is
courtesy.
bro crossing the mountains
Destroying
today?
what Godzilla could destroy in a few minutes in a single unintentional step. The titles for these videos are often some variation of, what are you doing in this situation? And honestly, it's a great description for these kinds of videos,
Die,
as
probably.
funny as it may be. Because really, what are you doing in this situation? What is the best course of action if the threat is of an incomparable size to you? Run away? Good luck. Hide? Be prepared to get
I've had
crushed.
nightmares like this before.
These massive
I've had a
monsters
nightmare
represent a kind
where
of hope.
I die, I guess. I've had a nightmare where there were like giant monsters that I could see over the horizon, and I just had to like get in the car and go.
Helplessness, and it's why they are often depicted as the harbingers of the apocalypse. Because a threat of that scale is
Ew,
universal.
look at that thing!
The monster doesn't go away once you exit the scary
Is
woods
bro
or leave
okay?
the haunted house, and it doesn't only affect one person or a group of people. A monster like
Bro's
this
dead.
is capable
Oh, no.
of ending the world. There's a great series by the channel Moon Productions, an unofficial
Moon
trilogy
Productions.
of terrifying videos called Creatures of the End Times,
Oh,
Creatures of
yeah.
the Fog, and Stay at Home as if this were outside. It is a trilogy
I love that
depicting
guy's
the world
videos.
ending by gigantic eldritch horrors. The first
They're
video,
so
Stay at
good.
Home as if this were outside, shows what looks to be a massive hand reaching down from the fog, showed from the perspective of someone on the ground recording from a distance. We hear screams and the video ends. It's short, but absolutely effective in conveying the scale of these threats. The second video, Creatures of the Fog, is longer. It starts with our character looking out into the fog, again, shot with a similar phone perspective. We hear some weird noises in the background.
Where
They
does
almost
this
sound
guy
like a whale's
live
mating call.
that
We
there's
see the
this
camera
much
person
fog?
running around some more through what looks like fields.
Like Ireland?
Until we see it. An absolutely gargantuan monster floating in the sky with what
Look
looks
at how
like
good the
tentacles
tracking
or
is,
hair of
too.
some kind growing off of it. It quickly disappears into the fog, and he keeps going. After making it to a
It's
road,
obviously
we
sliding
hear what
around like
sounds
a little
those
tiny
noises
bit,
from the
but-
start again, only this time much louder and closer. They begin running down the street, and the noise only gets louder and more distorted behind them. And the video
Just
cuts to
remade The
black.
Mist. So this
The
is
final
inspired by
video
The
in the
Mist.
series is the most
I
overtly
remember
kaiju
watching The
inspired out
Mist,
of the
and
three.
my parents
It's
still
called
talk about how awful the the ending is.
Creatures of the End Time. It starts with a shot of some sort of weather anomaly in the sky. We then cut to a tornado, and some sort of massive creature next to it, reaching into the sky. The narration reveals that these creatures are what is responsible for the end of the world. We can't even begin to imagine how large this creature is. All we see is its legs. It seems the rest of its body extends into the clouds above, making it impossible to know its true size.
Little
We
freak.
cut to shots of
Or I
buildings
guess big
with the
freak.
silhouettes of people made entirely out of what looks to be ash. As the commenter Fiend Folia, real or fake, points out, these shadows on the wall resemble those created
Hiroshima
by people when a
shadows.
nuclear blast happens, which implies that not even nuclear weapons were enough to stop these monsters. At the end, we see a collection of lights dancing across a town, and the video ends. These videos are incredible at conveying cosmic horror. This threat to humanity, eldritch in every way. It's not a traditional
Yeah, they just
apocalypse where
meant
the bombs
how
drop or
awful
the dead rise,
the
but instead
ending
a
made
much
them
more
feel.
dreadful one of monstrous proportions. One that couldn't even
I've
be
never
stopped
read the
by
book,
our most
though.
powerful weapons.
Was it a short story or was it a
Something
full-ass
truly worthy
book?
of being a threat to humanity, hiding in the fog. I love the fog in this series specifically, because it's what creates the sense of cosmic horror. It makes the threat unseen. A massive hand reaches down from who knows what source.
Medium length.
The clouds
Medium length
concealing the
for
true
Stephen
scale of a
King or
monster
medium length in
unaffected by the
general?
tornado next to it. The fog hides the horror.
the fingers
and
of a
ironically,
hand.
that makes
Yeah,
it all the more
and-
terrifying.
What's the weird little head?
I love when things are concealed in horror media. I think I made that apparent enough in my previous video, but I especially love this concealment when concerning huge
Oh, there it
things.
is! There's the
Things
mist!
so big that they get blocked out by clouds or fog. I especially love when the true sizes of these things are only revealed at the
Oh,
very
I
end.
love this video.
Also, spoilers for the movie The Mist. In the 2007 movie The Mist, this is exactly
We
what
predicted it.
happens.
It's talking about the mist.
Only at the end, we actually see the true
165
scale
pages.
of
Oh, that's
what's
not too
hiding
bad.
in the fog. The Mist is a
That's
film
kinda
mostly
that's
about
short-ish for
survival.
Stephen King.
At least that's part of it. It's about how in desperate times, people can turn to their most primal instincts. But the movie is also about threats so large that they are impossible to comprehend by the human mind. This plot point is developed all throughout the film, and the build-up to what we see at the
I
end is
heard
genius.
that
Most of the
the
film takes
proper
place in a
way
grocery
to watch
store,
the
where
movie
people are
is
trapped
the black
inside
and
for
white
days by a
version.
thick fog. A fog that seems to deliver death to anyone
It's
that
pretty
enters
good.
it. We have no idea what's out there. We get some clues, massive bugs flying onto the windows, even bigger monsters
But I had
attacking those
missed it.
bugs, tentacles coming
Hello,
out of
bread
an
and
open
butter.
garage, swallowing a man whole. but we never see
I heard
exactly
that
what's
I
out there,
heard that the proper
at
way to watch it
least
is the
not
black and
until
white
the very
version because
end.
in color,
Due to several circumstances inside of the store,
the
our main
CG isn't the
characters
best.
leave into the mist.
Burst
The
out
plan
laughing,
is
Will,
to find their
please.
car and see how far they can get with the remaining fuel in hopes of getting clear of the mist. It is here that we see what has been hiding outside the entire time. Still partially concealed by the mist, we see a monster much bigger than the store, much bigger than the surrounding buildings, and definitely much bigger than the people around it. A force that is not of this world, and its horror is still shrouded in the mist,
Make
with
it
only
bigger.
a terrifyingly large silhouette to make it out. The characters quickly run to the car and get on the
Scale
road.
it up.
By this point, you think you've seen the biggest thing the mist can produce, that there can't possibly
Hate
be
the
a
ending,
monster
there was no need
larger
for that,
and deadlier
yeah.
than the one outside the grocery store. Well, you would be wrong, because they are not alone on their drive out of town.
It's a really good
Eventually,
ending because
upon
it makes
driving
you
further,
feel
the
like
car reaches
really
a stop,
intensely.
and the ground begins to shake.
But it sucks, like,
You would
in
think it's an
general for
earthquake
the
by sound of
character.
it, but the ground goes from shaking to sporadically jumping in a pattern unlike anything natural. It is
Weird
then that
instant
we
porn
see
you're
it,
watching.
A monster
It's
with an
The
ankle
Mist,
twice the size
2007.
of the one we saw earlier.
Yeah,
This time, we are
that's
able
what I'm
to get a good
talking
look at
about.
it. It's a beast so large that it
That's
doesn't
what
even
I want
concern
to
itself with the
be in a
characters.
horror game.
Because
This
why
is what I
would it?
want.
What reason does a human have to meddle with an ant next to its feet? The characters are enamored by it. Who wouldn't be? It seems to be so massive that it doesn't have an actual food source, at least not here. The only damage it does is the unintentional squashing of people and entire buildings under its feet.
Ugh,
It's
my
a monster
nose is so runny.
big that it has no reason to destroy anything intentionally. Rather, its stride does more than enough to terrorize the environment. And as quickly as it appears, it's gone. And you can't help but think, what else could be in the mist? What if that wasn't even the worst of it? What if there are monsters the size of mountains? Monsters that reach to the stratosphere? What else might be here? The mist hides all. The movie will show you a monster, then another monster, then
mist
another,
hides all.
each larger than the one that came before it. And when
The
it
one
gets
boss that
to
was
its
split in
largest,
half, Dark
it doesn't
Souls?
even
Which
need
Dark
to
Souls
show
was
you
it, the
another
first
one
one?
for you to get the point. It's very much arguable whether the mist can be considered a
Dude,
kaiju
25
movie,
minutes
but for a
earlier, and that's
movie
it.
that's far less subtle than the mist when it comes to its monster. Look no further than the
Cloverfield.
film Cloverfield.
I like
The movie is
Cloverfield.
a
I don't
lot
care
more
what anybody
overtly
says. I
kaiju
like it.
than the mist. In that, the entire plot
The
is
first,
a giant
the one of the
monster
sewers.
attacking a city. The thing is, Cloverfield
I
is a
didn't really
found
get super
footage
far
movie,
in Dark Souls.
all about the people on the ground
I didn't
during
super
this
like
massive
it very
monster
much.
attack. It's set in 2000s New York, and the movie
Well, half
itself
of-
is
Gaping
haunting.
Dragon?
In most kaiju
Oh,
films,
I think I know
like
what that
Godzilla,
one is.
you get a very
It's
bird's
like,
eye view of the
hold on. It's the one with the teeth. Yeah. This thing. Yeah. Ew, look at this one. Oh. This Lords of the Fallen boss might be even grosser than the Dark Souls Gaping Dragon. That's nasty. I don't like that.
destruction. This is great for cinematography and showing just how destructive the monster is. Also, in most kaiju movies, the kaiju itself is the main character.
Gaping Dragon's also the
It's really
third or
hard to
fourth
find
largest
someone
boss.
with something
Oh.
as important as the monster. So when the monster is the thing constantly being filmed, we tend to forget the human consequences of massive buildings and homes being destroyed every few minutes.
You can see him kind of
The
trip a
entirety
little bit.
of Cloverfield seems to be a response to this. It's a movie all about a group of people trying to get away from the monster. And it does an absolutely phenomenal job of showing the true scale of a kaiju attack.
I like
And I think
Cloverfield.
because of this,
I tried
it
to
can be
watch
called the most honest
Cloverfield
kaiju movie.
Lane.
In most kaiju films, the
I got
destruction is so severe that we tend to determine the damage the kaiju did by seeing how many buildings it destroyed, because we get such a macro view of the entire situation that it's really hard to look at the casualties from a human perspective. When watching a kaiju
Yeah, I got
film,
bored. There
I
weren't
think we
any
tend to
big
forget
monsters
just how
in
big
it.
a skyscraper is. From the ground up, it's a giant rising into the sky, 100 times bigger than yourself. They are mammoth structures that show you the true power of human ingenuity, and they can give you a sense of megalophobia on their own. But from the top down, buildings look almost dinky. and a kaiju attack looks like a kid smashing Legos. But when a building is destroyed from the ground, we get an incredible spectacle. A show of glass and concrete, a dead god falling from the heavens down onto the streets below, producing a mist of debris traveling much faster than any car, promising to snuff out any air you hope to get after it falls. This sort of thing is why found footage was a perfect choice for the genre. We can see the true horrors of a kaiju attack, what happens when these buildings fall, when so many people attempt to escape at once, when you get caught in the crossfire of the military and the monster.
Yeah, I have. I don't know if I've watched all of
works.
Pacific Rim. I've
But
seen
let's
some
talk
clips.
about the monster itself.
But
its name is Clover, or at least that's what everyone calls it.
I
The
do.
monster
I
itself
do
is
enjoy
240 to 300 feet
the
tall,
ground up
which
shots
really isn't
of the
that much
kaiju
compared to
and the
traditional kaiju, of
mechas.
course. But the scary part is, it has been confirmed that Clover was only a baby in this film. Just how big could Clover be if it was an adult? We don't have to imagine.
Big.
Because in the third entry of the kind of
Never got
official,
around to the
kind of
second
unofficial
Pacific Rim.
Cloverfield
Yeah,
trilogy,
I've heard
we
that
see
2
what
wasn't the
Clover
best,
looks like as an adult.
and especially because
needless to
2
say,
has like
it got
top
bigger.
down shots, and they make the everything looks small.
There's some debate over whether this is
instead
Clover
of
as a
big.
grown-up or whether it's Clover's mom or dad, but whatever this thing is, one thing's for sure, it is absolutely gigantic. So big, we don't even really know how big it is. The generally agreed upon size is 3,000 to 6,500 feet, but some say it could be even taller than that depending on the height of the clouds. Some even put the number as high as 30,000 feet, taller than Mount Everest. If this thing found its way to New York, it could level the entire city in a single unintentional step. There would be no need for a film, because the destruction would be over in mere seconds. In the end though, I think this is my favorite kaiju movie, just because it does such a good job at communicating just how devastating it would be. How huge the monster is, the fact it can cut the entire Brooklyn Bridge in half on accident with its tail. It's tragic, but also incredible when you look at its ability to devastate. If we're talking about the devastation of cities though, I think it might be crucial, if not necessary, to talk about a wider kind of devastation. The devastation of an entire country. And not in a traditional post-apocalyptic way, more like a time where things simply stopped being civilized, with only ruins of massive structures to show for societies that no longer exist. In Simon Stålenhag's art book / graphic novel, The Electric State, this version of America
I feel like I've heard of that. I think there was a movie like really recently.
Reality called the Neurocaster proliferates. The masses began preferring it to reality.
It was like a
We
Netflix
see
movie, I
corpses
think.
with Neurocasters still covering their eyes. Skeletons of people so addicted to Neurocasters that they didn't even take them off to eat.
Me
As a
dying
result,
while
the
doing
world
a
goes out in
VTuber
quiet
stream.
whimper, one where people simply
Made a
gave
shitty
up
movie
on
about it
reality.
recently. Yeah.
But this isn't the only thing the Electric State has to offer. No. There is something much deeper, scarier, and larger hiding in this post-apocalyptic
Big
America,
monster.
waiting to come out of the shadows. The Electric State is all about the America that comes out of this apocalypse. An America not ruined by bombs, there are no
Sweet
zombie
drone.
outbreaks or any other of the many post-apocalyptic
And it's got the
scenarios.
California flag on it.
Instead, it's an apocalypse of memory. People simply forget about the world. We follow a young woman named Michelle and her robot friend Skip as they make their way to the Pacific Ocean, documenting their travels in the western United States along the way. And I'm not the first to say this, but it's pretty much a post-apocalyptic road trip. In a world where the ruins of massive war vessels are baked into the landscape, where massive towers reaching into the clouds dwarf over residential neighborhoods and spew advertisements at the end of days. The entire world is completely abandoned. We routinely see massive abandoned days. The entire world is...
Peg? Me when I see Lady Dimitrescu.
completely abandoned. We routinely see massive ruin after massive ruin, simply left to decay in the surrounding landscapes.
Yes!
So big and so aged that they almost seem a part of the landscape. Big groupings of specific structures like monolithic dormant robots all in the same field, battleships slowly rotting away on a coast, massive aircrafts used to fight an unnamed war. The melancholia of this world is illustrated through the sheer size of everything left behind.
Impreg?
A massive graveyard of mechanical architecture cruelly left to rot as a roadside attraction for the rest of their days. Nearly every piece of art in the graphic novel is a depiction of Michelle and Skip's car on the road alone, next to ruins of immense sizes, like a mouse getting to the other side of a grand train station, all alone, wandering through the ruins of inorganic landscapes on a paved road, while massive artificial mounds dot the journey.
I do like that
Is
imagery.
the entire plot of the Electric State. And yet, I cannot stop thinking about it.
I'd love a game
The
with these
striking
landscapes.
images of these
Right.
colossal graveyards are
For some
ingrained
reason, it's
into
making
my
me think of
mind.
murder drones. I don't
These
know why.
neurocasted towers that we begin seeing towards the end specifically give off such a haunting feeling. Because a tower, as absolutely gargantuan as it is only one in the dozens that we see throughout the Electric State. They aren't just large,
I'm getting
they
so
are
sleepy.
plentiful.
You do need to watch
You can
Murder
see them
Drones.
on
It's
nearly
really
every
good.
page near the end. But
It'll
even if
probably
only one of
take
these
you
structures
like a
existed,
couple of
it would still
watches
be
to like super
awe-inspiring.
understand it because it
These
goes by
liminal
really
depictions
fast
of
because it's only 8
proportion make me
episodes.
feel an intense
But you
sense of
should.
scale. But it's also through these depictions that I feel something is off. And this feeling in the background of these images gets addressed later
That's
in
the new
the
series.
Electric
Yeah, I
State.
was talking about that
There is
earlier.
an
I forgot
unseen
to
threat
watch
in this
it
world.
because
We
I
get
saw the
subtle hints
trailer
of
and it
what
looked
might
really
be,
cool.
like empty police cars with
I swear
several
there's a game with
spent
this
shell
aesthetic.
casings on
Can't
the
remember the
ground,
name, though.
as if the several bullets fired were
know.
ineffective at dispatching whatever target was being shot at. It suggests a kind of thing or entity existing within this world. But what could it be? Well, we find out a few pages later. While driving, a
It's
mechanical
like kind of
abomination escapes
Bioshock,
from the mist and into
almost.
the street. It has tall legs. It appears to be an amalgam of several pieces of technology combined into one.
Phenomenal.
It has
Yeah.
thousands of cables coming from all around its body like tentacles, all vanishing into the mist. Michelle describes it as a complexity that doesn't
It
look human-made,
it looks like there's a bunch
and
of
one she's
zombies
never
beneath
seen
it as
before.
well. Like
It's clearly parts from
like
various
VR
other pieces
zombies.
of technology stitched together, parts of a drone, a leg, an arm. It's a massive abomination, but not one without intentionality. The structure of its body has a purpose. According to Michelle, it
It's
functions
got little
clearly,
wieners on
with
it.
odd heaving movements under its surface that almost resemble breathing. And the biggest point of all, its
It's
size.
covered in wieners.
Whatever made this thing, for whatever reason, needed it to be massive. The scale of the beast, next to the people with neurocasters seemingly powering it, is haunting. It's not a monster that functions without purpose. Rather, purpose of the monster and the complex nature of its architecture are beyond what we can comprehend, making you wonder just what built the thing. In later pages, we see more monsters,
Whoa.
some seemingly taller than multi-story buildings, others hiding in the lakes and seas of this coastal town. And of course,
The creepy
there are
wife for
monsters
me.
of architecture always prevailing the background. Though we don't
The
get any
type of
overt
doll that
references
the
to these
Miku
giants
one
being
is,
hostile.
it's like
That is, until the final few pages.
I forgot what they're
And it
called, but
depicts
they're
the
called
most
something.
terrifying illustration I've ever
Pacific
seen in
Drive?
any graphic novel.
Not as similar as
For
I remember, but it's
context,
kind
our
of like
government
this.
agent is outside the
Mm.
house that Michelle and Skip are in.
What's it about?
While making his way towards the house, something seems
Is it about
to
like a little
awaken.
road trip across
It
a weird
rumbles the
landscape?
ground and rises from the dirt. It slowly gets taller and taller until the agent is face to face with a monster far more terrifying than any we had seen
Whoa!
before.
Look
While
at
the
that
others
thing!
look
Look at
like
its face!
featureless scraps, this monster is different.
Look at its face!
It has a face, a smiling face with
Ugh.
human-looking teeth. It
I made a
towers
Hank
over
Hill
the
noise
house
again.
And the agent, cables
Whoa.
covering portions of the beast's face and latching it down to the ground. Its
Never seen
face stuck in a
Prometheus.
smile
Mm.
wider than any human could
What a
achieve.
jolly
As it
fellow.
looks at the agent. Michelle and Skip hear the rumbling of this beast standing up, and when they eventually
He
walk
looks
out of the
happy.
house, they find nothing. No monster, no agent. The beast and its prey gone within what I can only imagine to be mere minutes. Whatever these giants are, they aren't
Mm.
innocent, and I can't help but think that sooner or later,
And they're
they'll catch up with
fast.
Michelle and Skip. I also can't communicate just how effective Simon Stålenhag is as an artist.
Little
Every
row bro
piece
with a
looks
shotgun.
photorealistic and absolutely stunning. In many cases, it's even hard to tell that they're paintings until you really squint at the individual brushstrokes. And the designs of these mammoth creatures are both stunning and terrifying. The Electric State depicts an apocalypse, where the only thing left of us are the colossal. It's an apocalypse of the ginormous, because they are the only thing significant enough to be
Linden.
admired in the end times. And if and when humans die out, I imagine what will remain of us,
Drive is
or at
rad.
least
I've
last
never
the
heard of it.
longest, will be the massive things we build. It could be one reason we build huge, to preserve something, to make a mark on the world in the short time we have. It's why megalophobia is everywhere. It seems societies all over the world, in the past, present, and doubtless the future, will be enamored by the huge. We are fascinated by big things. The awe they produce in us is
Dude,
unlike
you
anything
know
else.
what
We build the largest of towers
really
and
triggers my
structures, and we
megalophobia in
imagine
a video
building them
game?
even larger, regardless
The
of if it were
fucking
possible. We
statue that
visualize the
Elizabeth lives
man-made
in
infinities of megastructures. We imagine tiny humans confronting massive monsters.
in Bioshock
Even the
Infinite.
apocalypse is seen through the lens of the.
Hold on. No, I don't mean figures. This thing, the Monument Tower. Oh, that scares the shit out of me. Monument Tower. Oh, it scares me so bad. Look at how big it is! Look at how large.
Welcome, raiders!
Oh, Jebediah! Hi, Jeb! Hi! Thank you for the raid! Yippee! I'm looking at things that scare me, which is basically just all megalophobia. Thank you for the raid! Hi, Aurora! Hello, we have an ad coming soon. Yeah, hi! Thank you for the raid. What were you guys doing? Also, hi. If you don't know who I am, my name is Milky. I'm a spooky AI, and I do all things horror and Vocaloid. Hello. Today, I'm just looking at things that scare me. Abiotic Factor. My friend Devi has been playing that. I don't know what it is. What is it? What's it about? Utility room, the fear everyone has. Megalophobia. I played Subnautica in VR, now that's true horror. The utility room, a boss in Doom Eternal, 2 bosses in Shadow of the Colossus, and 1 Ultra Kill boss. So if you don't want spoilers for those.
What comes to mind when you think
But
of a
with
horror
that
game?
warning, let's go.
I'd wager a couple of
look at
things
some
came to mind, namely
Oh, the
jump scares,
Amnesia.
atmosphere.
Amnesia, Bunker. I liked that one.
Wager a couple of things came to mind,
PC
namely
Broken Wheels.
jump
We had
scares, atmosphere,
got like half our
the
progress
dark.
back in the stream.
These
Oh,
would all
yay!
be valid descriptions of a typical
Is
horror
it
game.
like a
We've all
survival
pretty much
game,
gotten
like
used to these very basic attributes. And while
like
they do
Don't
work,
Starve?
me, along with many others, have become almost desensitized
love
to it.
Don't Starve.
I've seen scary characters jump at my screen. I've walked through spooky atmospheres. I've experienced the darkness. These things no longer scare me. I've been so numbed by the constant overuse of this basic trinity of traits that I don't even care anymore. This homogeneity has made the experience of playing horror games, at least for me, a lot more boring, when games should be the best medium for fright. Fear in games has the potential to be so much scarier than in movies or books, yet I feel the majority of horror games sell themselves short. I want to see unique horror experiences that make me afraid in a way I haven't seen yet. Megalophobia, the fear of big things, is a fear that would seem unexpected for games to utilize. Yet it seems that every time a game manages to truly capture how scary the huge can be, it's always leagues scarier than any basic cookie-cutter horror game. Games that break the boundaries of traditionality. Games that make me feel scared simply by existing in them. The Utility Room is one such game.
The Utility
Developed
Room?
by Lionel Marsden, The Utility Room is an indie game that I shouldn't talk about. It feels irresponsible to write about the experience I had playing this game, because it's not something I feel that words can capture. And I know it sounds cliche, but I'm serious. There is no way I can describe the feeling of playing this game in words. For the sake of this video, I'll attempt to anyways. The Utility Room is a VR game for one. VR can do a weird thing when it comes to games like The Utility Room. You aren't just exploring a world on a computer, you exist in it, which makes the horror aspects much more prevalent. The basic idea of the Utility Room is this. At the edge of the universe lies the Utility Room, a sort of backrooms to the universe where all the heavy lifting takes place. There have been no work incidents in 13.8 billion years. You are arriving as a tourist. Don't do anything foolish. That is the first thing you are told in the
back rooms of the universe.
That intro is something to analyze, though. It brings up a lot of questions. What does a backroom to the universe even look like? Well,
It looks like
the
that.
game at first starts out very cavey. It's almost underwhelming.
What?
This is the generator of the universe? Are you kidding? Just a bunch of caves? But this feeling doesn't last long. A little later on into your exploration, you come across a view that shows you what a true backroom to the universe looks like.
Oh, it looks like the dimension
is
from
truly where the game
Hellraiser
begins.
2.
You see things in the distance, a large peak, what appears to be a castle, both of them seemingly large, but the true scale can never be figured out because there's nothing to compare it to. The structure could be a couple hundred or a couple thousand miles away
Yeah, that
from
looks
me,
like
and if
Hellraiser.
it were that far, it would have to be gigantic to be seen from where I am. Unlike in real life, there is no size limit here. Anything is possible. This is the place that runs the universe. How can anybody decide on the scale of any peak in this vast mountain range? Part of the terror I felt playing the utility room involved me looking at something vast and not being able to see the end of it, or looking at an object in the distance
Big
and
head.
not being able to gauge the distance it is from
Moe.
me based on the size. You are a human-sized creature
Moe.
in a world made for giants. I couldn't help but feel like an ant in this colossal world. Each structure in this pillar
Welcome back
section
from
like a
the
blade of grass,
ads.
10 or 20 times the size of me. And I was in an endless garden, an ant residing in it. The distances I could travel in months being traveled in seconds by any one of the mammoth inhabitants of the universal background. The main inhabitants
it a
of the
bunch of
utility
moai?
room are large moai heads that don't
Yeah,
do anything
moai,
but move
moai.
around. They're all nearly as large as the landscape itself. The middle section of the game has you slowly making your way to a large pendulum.
Weird
Every
triangles.
level, you're slightly closer. Though, judging by the distance,
Ew,
our characters
like
likely
weird,
traveled
like
years in
gnarled
between these loading
fingers.
screens. As hopelessly as an ant attempting to walk across a country. You don't matter in the utility room. Your presence is never acknowledged by anything that lives in the space.
So, if you're there
nor
as
can
a
you have an
visitor,
effect on
how do you
anything,
get out?
giving the megalophobic aspects of this game even more of a kick. Not only is everything around me
Ew.
so big that I could never in a millennium make any progress if I walk around such a space, but the contents of the world
You
seem
getting out?
meaningless. I mean, yeah, sure, this
Feel
is
like I wanted to
literally
float
what
above
makes
you,
the
baka.
universe run, but I couldn't help but
Moe.
feel like nothing had a point to it. Does that mountain have anything to do with how the universe functions? Or how about whatever this thing is? That is one way
That's
you
the
could look at
Rainbow
the
Factory,
utility.
dude.
But another, more unsettling feeling I get from this game is a feeling of ignorance. Like I'm too mortal to understand the functions going on here.
Ah!
Like a toddler attempting to understand the conversations of an adult. Or
That's such a
attempting
good
to discern
song.
the purpose of the machinery in a Geiger painting. Ignorance for the forces truly at play here. Once you reach
The
the
Giger
pendulum,
Wiener.
for the first time ever, you are recognized. Your presence affects the world. Previously, the Moai heads wouldn't care about you, not acknowledging you
Is
at
it
all,
Moai or
simply
Moe?
careening past with no regard for you being in their way. But now, when it's coming
Guacamole.
straight for you, it seems to have noticed you. But in the confusion, it ends up colliding with the pendulum, and for lack of a
Oh.
better term, dying. You
Moai?
can't help but feel
Okay.
like you caused this. The feeling of killing a god. A thing so much
'Cause
larger
I've heard
and more
Moe.
important than you. Falling to
Maui
its
is an
knees
island in
because of your
Hawaii.
actions. Like the opening text said, this place has stayed tranquil for 13.8 billion years, since time itself began. And look what you've done. It feels like you've ruptured the very fabric of the universe.
Look what you did. You fucking
Utility
killed the
Room
Moai
isn't
heads.
a horror game, but the sheer size of everything and the consequences of what you just did make me think otherwise. The feeling that me, such an insignificant being,
I thought he was
able
gonna
to do
say
something
such an
so
incel.
significant is what makes the horror of the utility room. The feeling that I'm messing with something so much bigger than myself, both
Actually,
metaphorically
Maui
and
is a character from
literally.
the movie
But I still get the
Moana.
feeling that even something so
Not my
big
fault,
to
bro
me
can't look both ways
will
before they
likely
cross.
not have an effect on anything. There are an uncountable amount of these giant Moai heads. I get the feeling that the gears of the universe will run all the same, despite such a monumental event from my perspective. Just another disturbance in an otherwise undisturbed back closet of reality.
Why Moai heads,
A
though?
foreign world, tranquil until my arrival. Speaking of foreign worlds, whenever discussions of the game Subnautica come up, it's usually always related to thalassophobia, the fear of the ocean, which makes sense. Subnautica is a survival game set on an alien ocean-covered planet.
Don't understand road
Of course,
safety.
the fear of the sea is the
Yeah,
first fear
the
people
back
think
rooms
when
of the
talking about
universe
this
and they
game.
don't even know how to
But
look
I've never
left and
seen
right.
much discussion on the megalophobic aspects of Subnautica, which is weird because they definitely are there. There's actually a completely separate phobia for the fear
The
of
fucking
big things
void
underwater
titan, not
called,
titan, the
and get ready
void
for this,
leviathans.
Megalohydrothalassophobia. Please fire whoever made that name. I think Subnautica is probably one of the only games
Mortal
that can properly represent such a fear. Subnautica is ripe with so many aspects that make it so scary for anybody with thalassophobia or megalophobia. The game starts with you ejecting from a gigantic ship called the Aurora. As soon as you get out, it blows up. You can tell the explosion's vast even through your small window. Once you get out, you see the remnants of this enormous ship that once housed your small escape pod. It is immense, so colossal in size you can see it anywhere on the map. And it's not a part of the skybox either. It changes depending on what perspective
That's
you
never
look at
needed
it
to look
from.
left or right before you
Not
showed
even
up.
30
I
seconds in,
fucked
and
up the
we're
moai
already pretty much
heads.
jump scared by the sight of something massive. This only continues, of course. It starts out fine. The sea creatures aren't huge. The ocean isn't that deep.
Remnants of
But the
my
further you go
huge
away from the life
ass.
pod, the deeper the water is, and the bigger the creatures. You're forced to go down further, dive down deeper for better materials. I don't scare very easily in horror games, but looking down into the ocean, knowing I'm far away from my life pod, the only safe place I have in this world.
I mean,
and
like
not
I
being
said
able to
before,
see
if
the
I
bottom,
look down
or
into
even
like a big
worse,
hole,
seeing
I'm
a
just like,
pitch
there's
black
nothing down
abyss.
there.
It's one of those things that makes me crown
Because again, I
Subnautica
have no
over any
object
traditional
permanence.
horror
I am
game
like
I've
a
ever played.
baby.
The environments, especially further out, are just so huge. How far certain regions descend, the vastness of underwater caves and ravines, all of this mixed in with the fact that this is underwater with creatures whose sizes are unknowable, and you can color me surprised that more people don't talk about the megalophobic aspects of this game. Underwater caves, especially, are so vast that sometimes you can't even see the other side of it. The occasional abandoned human settlement
I
is
do
dwarfed by the
hate
sheer magnitude and
underwater
ruggedness of
caves.
the environment around it. The Grand Reef environment in this underwater cave is especially terrifying. You rarely ever see the entire thing at once. It's simply too big. But probably
Because
the most
every time
powerful
someone
example
goes
of
into an
megalophobia,
underwater
and
cave,
probably
like in
the
a
most
video, I'm
powerful
like, they're
moment
gonna
I've
die,
had
they're gonna
playing
drown in there, and they're
Subnautica
not gonna come out.
was exploring one of the many vast underwater caves and coming across this.
The big skeleton? Yeah. It would have scared me
decayed
more if it was
corpse of a once
alive, but
absolutely colossal being. You already see big sea creatures in Subnautica, but these remains are a reminder of just how much you don't know. That no matter how much you explore the sea, there are things out there you can't explain or ever hope to find. These remains stretch on for so long, and you feel so small swimming around it.
Small.
The head is larger than a football field, each of the many, many ribs being the size of apartment buildings. The fossil, nicknamed the gargantuan leviathan,
puts it in better
is
perspective for
1.5
me.
kilometers, or
What
a
was it
missile,
called?
nicknamed the gargantuan leviathan, is
Gargantuan
1.5
leviathan.
kilometers or a mile in length. This is a rendition of what it could have looked like when it was alive. I have so many questions. What did this thing eat? Where did it live? What did it
it
hunt?
ain't you, buddy.
What hunted it? I won't say what I'm about to say is a fact, because it's from a Reddit comment, a historically great place for valid sources, but according to this guy, the creature's skull is that of a pack hunter, not an apex predator. As the commenter points out, the severed skull of the beast indicates it had been in a fight and lost. The thought of that makes me shudder. We can never know our own
What
oceans,
fucking- what
and
did it
similarly
lose
in
against?
Subnautica, we can never know the beasts that lay in places we cannot see. That's not to say that the sea creatures that you can't see aren't absolutely terrifying. You encounter some large life forms pretty early on, like the reefback, which, while don't pose a threat,
It lost
are
against your
gigantic.
mom!
So much so, they carry actual reefs on their
I
backs.
beat it. I didn't want to
But the
smoke.
reefback is harmless. Other creatures are not.
I think I could.
Going
I think
around
I could beat it up.
Subnautica, you can sometimes stumble across large snake-like creatures called ghost leviathans. They are
Yeah,
just as
I
terrifying
think I could
as
take
they
it.
sound. While not as mind-bendingly large as the gargantuan leviathan, these things
I
can
could
get
take
up
it
to
on.
a respectable 200 feet, at least as babies. If you explore a little too far into the dead zone, then you'll have the misfortune of meeting the adult ghost leviathans. At nearly double the size of the baby leviathans, the ghost leviathan as an adult is around 350 feet or 105 meters, about the size of a 30-story skyscraper. Seeing this monster next to your small ship, or seeing it easily overtake you in speed due to its much larger size, is just so unsettling.
Like you can tell that person's panicking,
sure,
because they're like,
but I would also equally say it gives me a sense of megalophobia, knowing how big the thing is. And the sounds these creatures make only make them more intimidating. The low-pitched, somewhat unsettling humming of the reefbacks, or the
where does
horrifying
it live?
hissing
Is it in
of
the
ghost
void?
leviathans you hear over the dead zone. You get the feeling that whatever is making these sounds is much bigger than you could imagine any sea creature on Earth being. Subnautica is one of the scariest games I've ever played, and it's done all of that without even being a horror game. But I really think megalophobia, or more specifically hydrothalassomegalophobic whatever, is an even better way to describe the fear, and the way I feel not just about the world of Subnautica, but the creatures that inhabit it, whether that be the dead ones or the ones that killed them. This all makes Subnautica,
Fuck is that
in my
squid?
opinion,
It's like a
the
little
scariest
electric squid.
non-horror game
If you
I
get
have ever
close to
played.
it, it sends
Another
out like an
genre
EMP
of
and
non-horror
turns all your
games
shit
that
off.
give me that same kind of feeling are space simulator games. Space is the one thing that's often a trigger for people, myself included, for megalophobia. More specifically,
Sorry if you could hear my
stars, black
bones.
holes, any celestial bodies really. So it
Black
should come
holes
as no
scare the shit
surprise
out of
that
me. I don't know
space
why.
games are some of the most hauntingly
Oh, is this No Man's
terrifying
Sky?
things someone with megalophobia could play. Astromegalophobia, much like I'm not even gonna bother with this anymore. It's a hyper-specific branch of megalophobia, the fear of large objects in space. There are multiple space games that absolutely take the cake in terrifying me, but I'm only gonna talk about one of them in this video, because I
I've
think it
never
sticks
watched
out.
or played No
No
Man's Sky.
is a game that is
Oh yeah, it is No
megalophobia
Man's
for
Sky.
multiple reasons that other space games aren't. While yes, Elite Dangerous and Outer Wilds both share the setting, I really think when it comes to making you terrified of the huge, No Man's Sky
Yeah, it
has
did
no
bomb,
competition.
and then it
When you fly through
people
No Man's
loved
Sky,
it.
there is a feeling. Seeing large planets in the distance, or mining on
It's
the rings of a
almost
planet far bigger
comparable
than Earth.
to,
There's a certain solitude to No Man's Sky, which only elevates the
to
megalophobic aspects.
Cyberpunk
Much like the
2077.
utility room, these planets are big
But I
for
don't
the
think
sake of being
Cyberpunk
big.
bounced
None
back
of
as
this was
hard as No
intentional.
Man's Sky
All of
did.
this is just here. And with the game being pretty much infinite with 18 quintillion planets, it would take about 585 billion years.
Famous theory
for
about
you to
black holes,
explore
the
and
gravity is
see
so
every
high that the
planet in
third
this
dimension
game.
is reduced to
It
two
makes
dimension.
sense, then, that a lot of these
I can get
colossal beasts
isekai'd
remain
into the
unexplored.
second dimension
Hell,
if I go into a
discovered
black
two
hole.
never before seen planets just by getting this footage. These planets are massive. They seem like they have to be important. Monumentality commands respect. Yet in the grand scheme of things,
I can get
these planets
isekai'd
are
into an
insignificant.
anime.
There are 2 planets in No Man's Sky for every grain of sand on Earth. That's including deserts, beaches, and the sand in the ocean. To think that these planets, these great behemoths in the grand scheme of the universe of No Man's Sky, are no bigger than half a grain of sand. But these planets are still immense in size.
Way worse than No Man's
I'm
Sky.
genuinely
Yeah,
freaked out
I
every
was
time
just
I step on
comparing
a
it
moon
because
that's a
it
little
bombed
too
and then
close to
it
its host
kind of came
planet,
back a little
and
bit,
said
but not
planet
as much as
taking
No
up half
Man's
the
Sky.
in a menacing monumental stance, commanding respect and fear for anyone who dare gaze at it. Yet it exists as a mere speck in the hugeness of the entire map of No Man's Sky. 585 billion years to explore all of it. Looking at a large planet is one thing, but looking at that same planet, knowing 18 quintillion others exist in a meaningless expanse of substantial
CD Projekt
insignificance,
Red keeps changing
makes
mechanics
things
things
10
every
times
update.
worse.
Yeah, I know
Alongside
the
this,
anime
No Man's Sky also has several
was pretty-
large living things.
pretty popular and, like,
the
well
sandworm
received.
being my favorite. Don't let the name confuse you. This thing is anything but small. Sometimes on a radioactive planet, you might come across an enormous worm shoot
Whoa!
from out of the ground,
What
fill
the
the
fuck?
sky in
That's
its
like the
monumentality,
Beetlejuice worm.
and
What
go
is
right
that?
back down to where it came from. As big as it is, you can't help but compare it to the rest of No Man's Sky's universe and realize how insignificant it is.
Whoa.
No Man's Sky is so big that it feels small. Every planet is half a grain of sand, and it feels that way.
There's gotta be
Especially
some
with
kind
the
of game
procedural
dev trickery in
generation,
No Man's
these
Sky, because
planets
if there was
quite
actually
literally
9
have no
billion
human
full
touch,
planets or
both
whatever
in
it
the
claims,
context of the
there'd be like
game
700
and its
terabytes of game to download.
Much like in
I
real
don't
life,
know.
every planet in the 256 galaxies of No Man's Sky is just another speck in infinity.
You can
And I
tell
think in a
everything they
way,
add was stuff they
that
wanted
makes
to
it
have
even
day one, but
bigger.
it's kind of too late for it now.
Megalophobia
Yeah.
is the fear of large objects.
They
not
were
exactly
really,
fear of
really
scale,
rushed.
But the extent of No Man's
Like,
Sky's
at the
world
end.
always makes me second guess this definition. A speck in infinity. That's what you are in No Man's Sky. On the complete opposite of the spectrum, you have not dormant giants in an infinite void, but rather, very much not dormant giants. Boss fights are a staple of games.
Doom Eternal.
But I found that whenever I'd rank my favorite boss fights in
Shadow of
games,
the Colossus. I
there
want
was
to play
always
Shadow of the
one
Colossus really
consistent
bad.
pattern.
I need
It all came down to size.
an emulator.
Unlike the giants of the utility room or No Man's Sky, these giants are hostile, making them even more scary. You can look away from a planet or a floating moai, but you can't look away from a boss fight if it truly scares you. Spoilers here for Doom Eternal's ending,
Include
although
time,
it's kind of hard to spoil Doom.
And then a
but
black
skip
hole,
to this
both time
timestamp
and
if
the
you want to.
z-axis
The
disappears, so we
icon
go
of
from
Sin
4 to
is a boss the
2-dimensional.
game has been
That's
building up
sick.
to since the start. Its immense size hinted at throughout the entire
Your
game.
2D
until
flat
the release,
forever.
in one of the coolest boss intros I've ever seen.
Oh. Ah!
The
Oh,
boss
it's
fight
hot. Yeah, I was
itself
gonna
is
say
also
it's
metal
kinda
as hell.
sexy.
You go from taking off chunks of its armor until you get all the way down to its flesh. The beast goes out as cool as it comes in,
Stop it!
shaking the entire
It's turning me
screen
on!
and presumably the foundations of buildings in its
Well, you're also
departure.
dead, but that matters little
I
in
love every
discussions like
aspect of
this.
this boss.
Yeah, dude,
and
you're
although
isekai into the
fragmenting him bit by bit
two
is
dimension.
somewhat basic, the
the
simple
second
fact that
dimension.
he's just really big sells him as a boss. You've been fighting big demons for the entire game. If the Icon of Sin was just another larger demon variant with more health and attacks, I don't think the ending of Doom Eternal would still be in my mind. But I remembered it, even all these years later when making this video. Another game with a similar boss fight is Ultra Kill. The Corpse of King Minos
Is
is a
Ultra
fairly
Kill
simple boss
just
fight
like
and pales
kinda-
in difficulty when compared to other
kinda
bosses.
Doom?
It's only about a minute long, yet it's so memorable.
But
The
not on
corpse's
PC.
weak point is
I've
its
never
eyes,
finished Doom
and he
Eternal.
uses
It
his
like
hands to attack you in large, sluggish movements. Seemingly being
like,
so clumsy,
gave me-
you can easily parry his punches back at him.
I was
That is until
overstimulated,
he
like
takes
the
his eyes
entire
off And
time.
moves into the second phase, where the parasites hiding inside of it reveal themselves. As I said earlier, the Corpse of King Minos isn't a particularly memorable boss, yet its size makes it so compelling. Of course, we can't talk about large boss fights without talking about likely the most famous example of a large boss fight in a game, or multiple in this case. Shadow of the Colossus is a game that's bold. It dares to ask the question, what if everything was
Speaking
really
of Shadow of
big?
the Colossus,
And it executes
was
on this seemingly simple premise
um,
very effectively. For starters, the world of Shadow of the
fucking-
Colossus completely dwarfs our small
the
player
one that
character
came after
named
it?
Wander. The camera is purposely wide, reflecting the size of the world. Speaking of the world, the Forbidden Land, the setting of Shadow of the Colossus, is a vast and desolate
Eco-
expanse.
no, not Eco,
Endless plains, towering cliffs, and ancient ruins stretching as far as the eye can see.
Yeah, The
This
Last
world
Guardian.
design gives
What happened
me
to
such
that?
a feeling of isolation.
Was it ever
I
finished?
feel like I'm nowhere near anything.
So I feel like
or
I've seen the demo,
anyone,
but
and
never
I'm
the full
not.
game.
The thing that I could most contribute to this, besides the visuals of the landscape, is the eerie silence.
It came
Save
out, it
for
was
the
shit, oh.
occasional gust of wind, distant cry of a hawk, or the sound of
Oopsie.
your horse's hooves. The land
It had
is
some problems,
devoid
but it
of
got
sound,
fixed a bit.
which helps make the opening still one of my favorites in any game.
Came out a while
You
ago.
start out in the
Oh.
wilderness, trees surrounding you.
I've only
Wander
seen like a
rides through
little bit
nature
of it,
for a
but I've
good
never
minute,
seen the full
Until
game.
eventually, a large structure is found. When you step through, you see the vastness
I guess
of this
it never,
world for the
it
first
just never
time.
like hit.
A world filled with beautiful nature. A
It never
desert,
hit like Shadow
various
of the
cliffs,
Colossus did.
As well as that, an architecturally questionable bridge stretches on for what seems like miles. This opening is a great way of communicating the type of game Shadow of the Colossus is. It almost foreshadows the foes you'll have to face in your journey. There are a total of 16 colossi, and as the name suggests, they are all huge. There's a reason this game is hailed as being one of the best ever made.
2016?
If a single large boss fight in Doom Eternal made
So
the
like
ending memorable,
10 years ago.
imagine how influential a game with 16 of those must be. But unlike Doom Eternal or Ultra Kill's more hands-off approach to boss fights, that is, you're just sitting in an arena with the boss in front of you.
Is Ultra
in
Kill
Colossus, you get up close and
a new
personal with
game?
the Colossi.
Or
You
is it
quite
really
literally
old?
have to climb them to hit their weak points. Out of the 16, I have a couple of favorites. Phalanx is by far the biggest out of all the Colossi.
Like last year?
It
Oh,
shows
okay. So
itself
it's a
in such
newer
cool way.
one.
What would you expect from a flying beast?
For a couple of years?
Presumably, that it would be in the sky. But Phalanx
I was just
is
wondering because
introduced
the
in,
graphics.
let's just say,
it could
a
either
different
be like
out
like
of the
2006 or
At first, you think
2025.
it's going to be some worm-like boss that tunnels under the ground you stand on. But
2020?
it is so gargantuan that it takes a couple of seconds to realize it isn't jumping out of the ground, but flying out of the ground. Like the other Colossi, the way to beat him
That
is
thing
to
looks
climb
like
on
the
him.
Q
But
from
not
All
only are you
Tomorrows.
climbing on this mammoth creature, but you're also in the air most of the fight. And you also have to deal with him tunneling underground every once in a while. The way it dies is even cooler than that, creating a mini sandstorm from its immense body hitting the ground from the air. Another one I like is Hydrus. Going back to the fear of big things underwater, Hydrus is a boss fight I find genuinely scary. The Colossi up to this point have all been pretty neat, but just like in Subnautica,
Aggro.
I can't deal with big things underwater. Hydrus is a giant underwater electric snake. I think that description speaks for itself. Drowning is something you haven't really thought about up to this point, besides one other pretty insignificant instance. The boss fight itself is also pretty hard, having to balance finding Hydrus's weak points with not drowning. I
The
both
bosses in
love
this game is a
and hate the
bastard.
concept
Is
of
it
one of the
the
Colossi
small
being
one that
underwater.
runs around?
I love it because it's a good idea. I hate it because it's absolutely terrifying to fight, which only makes it cooler.
I mean, the
But
small one
then
is still really
there's
big,
the opposite of a large boss. Instead of a gigantic
He-
monster
he
you have
runs,
to face
like,
in a
full
long
speed at you.
battle, sparring with a beast much different than you and still coming out on top, you have a quieter megalophobia. Somewhat like No Man's Sky or the Utility Room. A type of huge that commands respect by the sheer size alone, with
I
no
mean,
present
planets don't
hostility.
super scare
In
me
that
because I
way,
just can't
see this
comprehend
kind
how
of
big they are.
megalophobia in games
Because I mean,
as
I've
an
never
even
been to
bigger scare
space.
for someone with megalophobia.
And I've
You're
only
not
been in a
focused on the
plane
icon
like
of
4
Sin's
times in my
size
life.
Doom Eternal. You're ripping and tearing after all. You don't have time to look over at the icon of Sin and see how big he is. You're focused on a million different things in this boss fight, and fear for the size of your opponent
Yeah, dude,
is
there's
not one
so
of them.
much shit
But in a
going on
game
in
like
Doom
Half-Life
Eternal.
2, the megalophobc
I
aspects
can't-
are not an enemy, nor a basic
can't, I
threat,
can't comprehend
but a
it. It's
presence,
too much for my brain to
and one
keep
that
track
you feel
of.
throughout the entire game. When you walk through the door out into City
Like
17
I
for the
always
first
say,
time,
I play games
you
to
are
have
met with
fun,
this.
not really for a challenge.
Immediately, a tower far larger than any use we can come up for it appears in front of you, which only cements the fact that the builders didn't
What's
have
that guy's
human goals
name?
in mind. It's so
The white-haired guy that's on the
intimidating,
screen.
and it very quickly characterizes just how far the Combine are ahead of humanity, while also unmistakably clarifying their goals.
Much time away from
The
the game, I think it
Citadel,
was.
which is the
Yeah.
name of the tower, silently communicates a message that the Combine tries
Dr.
to preach
Breen?
throughout the entire
Neil
game.
Breen?
You are just our subjects, like comparing a human to an ape. The largest building we've ever built
Burj
is the
Khalifa.
Burj Khalifa in Dubai, and yet the Citadel is 3 times the size
Oh.
of it, literally being so high up that it goes past the clouds and the top isn't even visible. It is 1.5 miles tall. Even if you didn't think about all of these things consciously when first seeing
7
it,
billion,
I bet you
it doesn't
did
mean anything to me
unconsciously,
because I've never
especially
seen
throughout
7
the
billion
game.
of anything.
All of this importance, communicated
maybe
by the size
sand.
alone, a way of legitimizing the rule of the Combine by making the things they make so big compared to our own creations that they don't even compare. The reveal of the Citadel is even more shocking in Half-Life Alyx. The fact that it's in VR makes it an even cooler reveal.
I don't think I've
with the
finished
screen
Half-Life 1
slowly
even.
fading into it being under construction. With all of these wires, all leading up to a structure that you can never tell the true distance of, because it's just so darn big. Yet another way of legitimizing
just
the rule
so
of the Combine
darn
and showing
cute.
how ahead they are compared to humanity. I just adore the way that Half-Life 2 and Alex tell visual stories. Alex more than 2, just because it's in VR. Instead of telling
Is
you how
Half-Life
far
Alex,
the Combine is beyond our species, it shows you.
only VR, or
And
is
of course,
does it also
the
have a
best,
desktop
most
version?
universally understood and respected way to show this
Dirge from
is
Shadow of
size.
the Colossus? Okay.
All of the games I've mentioned in this video are megalophobic, but not one game contains megalophobia in the same way. The utility room
Shadow of the
contains
Colossus
meaningless
Dirge.
seeming structures and entities,
Ew!
yet meaningful
Ew, it's
in a
got
way
like
that
a
we could
face.
never understand,
Ooh.
all communicated by size.
Ew, he's
Subnautica lets you know
nasty.
how
I don't
hostile
like
this
this
world
little
is with your
freak.
encounters with huge sea creatures.
Number
as well
stop
as your
making comparable
interactions with
sense
the
to the
unknown.
vast majority of people
No
after
Man's
several
Sky
hundred.
is so
Yeah.
vast, and the planets it contains are so big that the entire
What is
universe
this
of it
fucking
ends up
freak?
being
Oh my
meaningless in a way
God,
that makes
he's
it
so
feel like
weird.
these planets are long dead, gargantuan husks. Shadow of the Colossus.
He's so weird. What the fuck? He does have the same eyes as the moon. Thank you for the follow, Uwaki. Hello. I don't remember this fucking weirdo. Freak. You're just standing there on aggro. The Vocaloid tag before Nito. Yeah, I have a new Towloid. Thank you for the wisdom. Thank you for the 4-punch Tomkey.
Milkweed 1.
Hello. Yeah, I have my own Utaluloid. And I cover a bunch of Vocaloid songs with it. Show your face, you fucking freak. Where's his weak spot even? Ew, look at his eyes! Oh, you have to shoot him in the eyes. Oh, and he hits the... Okay. There it is. Stab! Ah. Damn,
Hi, gay.
Hi, gay. Aggro! Whoa. Someone say gay. Yeah. Hi, gay. Scary as shit the first time you fight him. The game over screen is scary as hell. Ugh. Game over screen. Ew! That's so scary! Ew! Ew! He's so weird! Bro built like an ARG. I had to shoot on aggro's finicky at best. Ugh. That is an analog horror fucking freak. Aggro! damn, that's fucking weird. That's weird! He's a fucking freak! He's a weirdo! But yeah, I think that'll be it for me for today. Please don't leave stream yet, okay? I'm gonna continue to stress test my computer and hopefully see what's wrong. One of the top 10 video game weirdos. Fucking freak. Okay. Let's see. Ooh, we could raid Stag, Sam. Stag. Stag is playing Guild Wars 2, and Sam is... What is he doing? He's looking at Sage 2025, which is like a Sonic Games thing, I think, or a Sega Games thing. But he's playing like different like Sonic games. So let's raid Sam. Okay. Well, thank you guys for coming. I appreciate it very, very much. Please join my Discord server if you haven't yet. Please follow my Blue Sky and my Twitter. And I have a VOD channel, a YouTube channel. I have a Patreon. I have a VGen. I have a merch store. And I'm affiliated with this really cool energy drink company called W. They have some really sweet drinks and they just taste good. They have some energy and hydration drink powders. If you're not really into caffeine, you can get the energy drink. Not the energy drink. You can get the hydration drink powders. But yeah. I'm gonna go get something to eat, and I will see you guys again on Tuesday. Please remember that I'm starting my donathon on Tuesday. I'm gonna be raising money for my lore project, and I'm gonna be showing you guys the first episode on Tuesday. Okay, so be there if you wanna learn some lore, baby. Yeah, I'll see you again on Tuesday with, I don't know, something. Okay, bye!
Don't touch that dial now, we're just getting started.